Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
It is Friday. For real. Happy Friday, everybody.
Even the bell's cooperating today.
Bell's like, it's Friday.
That's right.
I think I will ring today.
I'm feeling like a ring today.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for a ring.
So, maybe if we fool the bell. You think the bell knows?
Yeah. Ooh, that was a good one, though.
Just wondering, like...
Don't make eye contact with it and sneak up on it.
Like one Monday we roll up and just start yelling it's Friday and then see if the bell...
See if the bell cooperates?
Yeah.
See if you can fool the bell and trick the bell into thinking it's actually Friday.
And then if it rings, we can all laugh and go, I fooled you.
Yeah, knowing our luck, hey, it's Friday.
It knows. But for real, it's Friday.
Yes.
And happy Friday to you. And there's only one real reason I can think of that makes Friday any better.
Could it be McDonald's?
It could.
Ah.
And you're absolutely right. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. They hook us up literally each and every Friday with delicious breakfast treats. And and they always are very amenable to our wacky do requests. And
we get weird with it.
Yeah. So we thank them for that. By the way, in case you haven't heard, the South Main McDonald's full on open, dude.
Yes.
Go on in there and get you some breakfast this morning. Or come through the drive-through, dine in, carry out, order through the app.
Absolutely.
The application.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's short for.
It's cool to have that McDonald's open again. It's not, I mean, just because of the nostalgia factor, because I used to sneak out of school and go get lunch over there. Yeah. Well, actually, okay, so what happened was I feel like I'm far enough removed that the statute of limitations has passed.
They will come after you?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I was in broadcast journalism in high school, and what they did was they gave you a press pass.
Okay.
The press pass was so you can go and get footage for. We shot this series called Hey Watch This. Every Friday we would show it around the school on the campus TV or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so given this press pass, we were able to leave campus to do interviews and stuff.
Okay.
So this press pass was our pass to McDonald's when we wanted lunch on on certain days.
Nice. Okay.
It was a real cool hack.
Well, I too have stories of lunch in school. When I was in high school, we had a closed campus. We weren't allowed to leave for lunch either. It was back in the 80s and 90s, kids. Late 80s, early 90s. But when I was 16, I got my driver's license and everything. They would issue parking passes to students based on, you applied for them, but kids with more extracurricular activities would have a higher precedent on getting the limited number of student spots than others. So there was usually more applicants than spots available.
Sure.
I never got in on the student parking because I played hockey, which wasn't school affiliated, so I really didn't have. But I have friends. And one of my friends was the class president.
Oh.
Who just so happened to not drive. So he got a parking pass.
Right.
And I got his. But the cool part was his parking pass, because he was student council president, I guess. I have no idea. Was actually parked on the teacher's side. There was two sides, a teacher's side and a student side. And his parking space was on the teacher's side.
That's it.
So on the condition that I had to drive him and his sister to school, not every day, but a hunk of them.
Sure.
I got said parking pass.
Nice.
Thing is, they never checked that side of the parking lot.
Why would you ever need to check the teacher's lot?
At lunchtime to go get lunch. We only had 30 minutes to get lunch. From bell to bell, we had 30 minutes.
Same.
So basically, when the lunch bell rang, I had to book it to the car, book it to McDonald's. We had lunch at like 10:20 in the morning.
Right, which is a stupid time to have lunch, school system.
And so we still had breakfast. And so this is why I have such a soft spot in my heart for the old school steak biscuit. Mm-hmm. Remember the breaded little steak patty they put on a biscuit?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 99 cents is what you get it for, steak biscuit. And I would order a couple of those and a hash brown every day. It would be like $3 and change, and that was my lunch. And we'd go from car to Mickey D's to eat to back in class in 30 minutes. And it was always a tall order when we pulled it off. But I remember,
you feel like a champ when you do it too.
Yeah, but all my other friends would get caught. Like teachers would hide in trees and jump out of trees. I had the slip on the other side.
Anybody who grew up in the area who went to Roswell High will remember this from my generation. We had a guy. He was our head of security, Polaco, I believe. We called him Mighty Mouse because he was kind of little. He was a little dude.
Yeah,
but he was like stacked. Yeah, but he used to park his truck right at where the tennis courts are at the Roswell High. Like right where the cafeteria is and the tennis courts on that side of the because that's like beeline to McDonald's. That's where the student parking was. He would have his truck right there at the at the entrance. So if you drove, you weren't getting out of that parking lot.
Gotcha.
That's why it was so cool that McDonald's was literally a hop, skip, and a jump. I could walk over there and get there.
Flash the pass.
Right. There didn't used to be a bunch of those fields back when I went to school. Way back in my day, that was just a dirt field. So we'd walk across that field and just head on into Mickey D's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But kids don't do any of that.
Yeah, no. We're not don't do as we say. Or
that's right.
We're just we're just reminiscent.
Get your McDonald's on the way to school or after school. There.
That's right. We were confused street toughs. We skipped school, and look where we ended up. We're in morning radio. We have to wake up and do this.
I've never been called a street tough before.
That's right. Here's to you, champ.
Thanks. Oh, man. Let me give you a big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any of your 3 McDonald's, including the new South Main McDonald's. Don't forget, they're always hiring, too. If you're looking for actual career opportunities, McDonald's here with the Snowburger family is very much a possibility. Log on to www.mchire.com, and they can take care of all those needs for you there. Hey, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We have a full slate for you for today. Some political, some community, all community really, but some dealing with election and some dealing with just nonprofits and things like that. But we're going to start things off this hour here in just a little bit. We're going to have Bob Korn, city council candidate in Ward 4. He's going to join us, and we'll chit-chat with Bob in just a little bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, we got a busy hour for you. Right around the top of the hour at 8:05, we're going to have Jason Garcia and John LeMay join us from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. We'll get an update from them. We'll also remind folks about the meet and greet book signing with Donna Blake Birchall happening this Sunday. John LeMay will be there as well, so we're going to talk with them. And then at 8:30, we're going to have mayoral candidate Tim Jennings join us and chit-chat with him for the remainder of the 8 o'clock hour there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we'll have the folks from the Roswell Public Library join us. Tracy Fry and I believe Peggy Boland will be with her as well. And we'll get an update on what's happening over at the Roswell Public Library. Plus, we'll have all of your other features that include the news of the local variety, the news of the national variety, along with Wall Street updates, lots of commercials because it's that time of year, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure headed off to the east, and we've got high pressure setting up over southern New Mexico, so we've got a fair weekend coming up. Low to mid-50s, breezy, and a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Overnight will be partly cloudy and cold, dipping into the low 20s, and then it looks like mid-50s and sunshine for Saturday, back up to about 60 and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hold on. Thank you, Steve. Currently 25 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. Today, very similar to yesterday, although they're saying mostly cloudy instead of mostly sunny. But highs near 50 once again. East winds 5 to 10 this morning. A little breezy, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Tonight, clear skies with an overnight low of 22 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for your weekend, a little warmer. Saturday, sunny, 56. Southeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies Saturday night with an overnight low of 23. Expect highs right around 60 on Sunday. Under sunny skies, winds will be out of the south 5 to 10. And then warming up for next week. Now they're saying 68 on Monday. They were saying 70 yesterday, but still pretty nice. And then looks like we're just warming up as the week progresses. 71 on Tuesday, 76 Wednesday, 77 on Thursday. So it looks like a warm week for us next week. All right, it is 7:16. We're going to take a commercial break. And then joining us on the other side will be Bob Corn, City Council candidate representing in Ward 4. He'll join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Have you ever wondered how prayer works? If you answered yes, you are most likely like the rest of us. Prayer certainly is not to inform God, the God of the universe, about personal matters in your life. After all, He already knows what's going on. He made you. You don't have to pray to gain God's acceptance either. He loves you, and we know this because Jesus died for you. So why do we pray? For starters, the Father wants to hear from His children. In my family, I often know what's going on with my children, but I love to hear their voices in my ears. Have you ever been stressed over life or anxiety that no person can help with? Well, prayer is good for that as well. There was a guy named Paul who wrote to a church telling them not to be anxious about anything, but to pray. He told them that the peace that they could not understand would guard their hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So whatever's going on, whatever's happening, just pray. Give it a try.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
This just in, breaking news from Richland Motors. Let's go live to the sales manager at Richland Motors, Freddie Sosa, for more information. Freddie?
New inventory has finally arrived. Just off the delivery truck, we have a 2022 gray Chevy Suburban with a 3-liter diesel engine. Also a 2022 black Chevy 2500 HD, and also a 2022 beautiful blue GMC 2500 Denali. We also have over a dozen more 2500 HDs and Yukon and Tahoe vehicles coming in very soon. So if you're looking to purchase a 2022 vehicle, you gotta come on down to Richland Motors at 2601 West 2nd Street in Roswell and claim your vehicle while they last. And from now until February 26th, Richland is teaming up with Otero Federal Credit Union June to get qualified buyers rates as low as 1.75% on your purchase. Guys, you won't believe this, but I've got to go. We just got another truckload in.
Only at Richland Motors, 2nd and Sycamore in Roswell.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
Hi, I'm Margaret Kennard, City Councilor representing Ward 2. All the candidates are telling us what they are going to do, but let me tell you what I have done. As Vice Chair of the Infrastructure Committee, I worked diligently and was successful in funding the largest street projects in Roswell's history. As a member of the Finance Committee, I assisted in successfully cutting excessive government spending by 23%. I voted to protect your rights, and I promise to continue to do so. Roswell is home for me and my family, and I look forward to continuing to serve the citizens of Roswell. I ask for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. Paid for by Friends to Elect Margaret Kennard.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Bob Korn back with us. He's been on many times, wearing many hats, commissioner, so forth. But today, Bob is running for city council in Ward 4, so he's wearing his candidate hat this morning. Morning, Bob. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. Good to be here again.
First off, I try to start off every one of our candidate interviews here. Just really, first of all, thanking you for your service to our community, the service that you've provided for over the years, the service I'm sure you'll continue to provide, whether it's in a city council capacity or whatever. You know, this is your home. I know that, and you've been a part of it for a long time, and we thank you for that. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your comments. Very kind.
It's one of those things, and you know this better than I do. Is especially when you get to county and city level government. That's neighbors. That's people out here, and I know we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but I do believe in my heart everyone that's stepping up and running is doing it because they want a better community here.
Well, Mike, it's always been my belief when I was a state representative that the government closest to the people is the best government.
Sure.
Because you see these people at the grocery store, you see them at the restaurants. You know, you run into people all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's been interesting, this campaign. There's been many times people catch me in the grocery store.
Sure.
And they say, you don't know us, but we know you, and we're proud of you. You've done a good job, et cetera, et cetera.
And that probably for you as a, whatever it is, state rep, county commission, city council, that's the best feedback for you sometimes.
Yeah, but that wasn't the way it was when I was a judge.
You get as much of that in the grocery store as a judge, huh?
Yeah, I'd turn the corner and look, and I'd go, oh, I know that face. I don't know if this is going to be good or this is going to be bad.
I don't need spaghetti this week. I'll go down the other aisle there.
But most of the comments, even when I was a judge, were good.
Sure.
And I had a guy that was on felony charges, and he got sent to the state pen for a number of years. Mm-hmm. And I ran into him, and he walked up, shook my hand, and he said, thank you.
Sure.
You told me that I needed time to reflect. And that's what I called it. I didn't say I'm going to throw you in jail.
Right.
I'm going to give you time to reflect.
Sure. And
he said, I'm married, I got a steady job, got a child now, da-da-da-da-da. And I thought, good deal.
And that's really, and we're not talking just about judges here, but really that's what being a judge is all about, is understanding, when to to use it as a tool to hopefully educate someone into being better versus putting away someone that just really shouldn't be a part of society. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you have to have the judgment and the common sense to figure out which one of those lanes that you're looking at.
Sure, absolutely. So let's talk city council here. I guess let's start with the first question. Why? What made you decide to say, you know what, I need to step up here and run for city council in my home ward here?
Well, my personal opinion is the city needs to refocus what they're doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, you've got $7 million they spent on the convention center. Got a nice room for the city council to meet in. Remodeled the lobby, but you got that stupid echo. I was at the city council special meeting last night, and it was hard to understand what was going on in that, and that's a brand new room.
Gotcha.
So that, plus, I'm not going to, it has not been a big part of my campaign.
Sure.
The rec center.
Sure.
And the aquatic center. The mayor's deal has been batting that back and forth.
Sure. But you're kind of setting a precedent. It's like, look, we're updating facilities, but are we doing it with looking at the community's needs most in mind with some of this? Or are we just trying to put it up there and save a buck? Is that kind of where you're going with it?
Yeah. You need to, whenever you're planning is hard. It's time consuming and it's expensive.
Sure.
But if you don't have a plan and don't ask enough questions going into the deal, it's not going to meet the needs.
Gotcha.
And if they saved $1 million, for instance, not my issue, but this is what the mayor's guys have been going back and forth about.
Sure.
Is the pool's not deep enough. Well, okay, so you saved $1 million by not having the pool deep enough, for instance. I don't know. I've never been in that building. So
I don't know enough about competitions to know what's regular. I'm like, yeah, it's a pool.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that.
Sure.
But my focus is that, and I know you're going to bring it up, so I'm going to beat you to the punch.
All right.
Is this $61 million baseball complex.
Sure.
Now, I did a mailer on it, Mike. You've got it in front of you.
I do.
And it says, I'm a big baseball fan. When Nancy and I were married before she passed away, her bucket list was to go to every major ballpark in the United States. Now, we didn't get the list complete, but we went to lots of baseball games.
You tried real hard to finish it.
Tried real hard. We didn't get back on the East Coast very much, but we covered most of the West Coast.
Gotcha.
And the Central Rocky Mountains and Midwest. But I'll give you, City Council has not voted to do the $61 million ball field.
Gotcha. That was never coming up before a City Council meeting.
I haven't seen it yet.
Gotcha.
But what they did do is spend over $500,000 to get this planning done.
Gotcha.
And, okay, I got it. It was a grant or an appropriation from the legislature, but state taxpayer money. But it doesn't matter. Taxpayer money is taxpayer money.
Gotcha. That's $500,000 we could have done something concrete with.
Well, our streets are in very, very poor shape. They're doing a lot of work now around town. They've done a bridge up on Lee and Deming, I think it is. But that's not in their normal budget. Their normal budget is street repair and stuff, somewhere around $1 million.
Sure.
And I'm going, guys, we got to play catch up. We got to put $10 million in that account to try to play catch up.
Sure.
All this money is, we've had a windfall. County had a windfall. City had a windfall due to this COVID stuff.
Sure.
And the federal dollars. But guess what? Federal dollars are still taxpayer dollars. We're coming up on tax filing season. You're going to write a check. I'm going to write a check.
I already know how much that check is, and I'm not happy about it.
I mean, the number's out there in the weeds somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's still taxpayer money.
Sure.
And we got to be good stewards of taxpayer money. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Absolutely.
Because that's all government operates on is taxpayer funds, period.
I want to ask you a question, and you have a unique perspective on this one. Talking about roads and things and the upkeep and the maintenance of the roads. obviously you served as county commissioner during the COVID time period here. And so you dealt with many of the same issues on the county level.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious, because some could be, and I would say it's fair to say in some instances when you talk about road is lack of material thing. COVID kind of put a delay on some of that. And I would argue that may be a valid point for some things. But you guys experienced the same thing on the county level. Did you have those kind of issues with the road department as far as material, manpower, all the things that were shorthand, dealing with some of those issues? Was that a problem in the county level? So I'm trying to give a compare and contrast.
Okay. Well, I mean, the county road department is a different thing than the city streets.
Gotcha.
Okay. We do dirt roads. I got to tell you, when I left the commission a year and 2 months ago, we had better dirt roads in the county than some of these city streets. and we spent, I don't remember now if it was $500,000 or $600,000 on a, I don't know what to call it. It's a giant rotor-rooter.
Gotcha.
It's got
the tiller. I don't know what they call them. I know what you're talking about.
But it's got steel spikes on it, and literally you just power it up and drive down the road, and it tears up the present asphalt, mixes it with the dirt, and then you come in and repack it, and then you come in and lay down your chip seal.
Gotcha.
And that's another big difference. We use chip seal in the county, and you use asphalt in the city. And the price of all this stuff, guess what? It's going up.
Yeah.
Look at the price of oil. What's the biggest item in asphalt? Oil.
Yep.
And so we got to be very careful about this stuff. We need to play catch up, and we got an inflation rate of 7%. Somebody said the other night at the meeting. And
well, now war in World War III or whatever, looking here, I'm sure that's going to make a huge impact on some of these prices and materials and things like that. Again, oil and gas.
Right. Well, I mean, oil was trading at over $100 the other day for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I don't watch the oil market like some of my buddies do. But
Sure. But you keep an eye on it from time to time.
Well, yeah, because it affects so much of what we do.
Sure.
It affects us at the gas pump. It affects us downstream, needing money to do streets and roads and
so let me just read the tea leaves for this next 4 years for the city council here. Like you said, we need to get back to fixing up and getting coming back here and fixing everything, getting it all done. Are we going to see some unique challenges with this next city council because the way the world's working right now? Our congressional districts, now we got Chaves County's got all 3 districts in one county here. I would imagine that's going to impact who comes to see the city council, the kind of, certainly, the people that pass through here wanting things. I imagine, I got a feeling, and you have a better picture than I do. It's going to be some unique challenges for this next 4 years for this city council, whoever's sitting on it.
Mike, I've been on your show many times, and you know how I am with challenges. I just roll my sleeves up and go to work. And it is going to be an additional challenge. We have 3 congressmen to go back and visit with in Washington, call on the phone, write letters to, whatever. We still just have 2 senators.
Sure.
But all this is a big unknown, and I am absolutely surprised about this Ukraine situation.
Sure.
Now, I'm not in the know enough, I use the term up to 10,000 feet, a pilot term. Looking down, I'm going, wow, I don't know how that happened, but look what's going on.
Sure.
So some of this stuff you just can't plan for.
Right.
And because on the world stage, it involves so many different countries, so many different leaders, governments. This coronavirus was the same for everybody.
Sure.
Made you sicker than a dog.
Yeah. Well, maybe World War III will get rid of Corona. Like, a lot of those people talk about masks right now. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Mike. I'm not going to go there, bud.
I'm just saying. I know not so many people talk about masks at the moment. I'm just saying. They're a little more, got bigger fish to fry. Just saying. But anyway, just an observation.
I understand.
But let me ask you this, because obviously you've got a lot of experience working with people, working in the county level, state level, things like that. And that's one thing we talk about the city council here. It's a unique one. We got the largest city council, 10 people that That that's a unique thing to other municipalities and things. Obviously, you've got a lot of connections here, but to work with 10, is that, your experience here, is that a unique challenge, a different challenge of working on a county commission or something? Or
I don't think it's a unique challenge.
Yeah.
It is challenging.
Sure.
No question. And, I'll tell you a little story. When Commissioner Wooten stepped off the county commission, he had a little deal about riding for the brand. And there's been a lot of hubbub on Facebook and stuff about, the county guys are trying to take over the city. No, that's not true.
Sure.
When I get elected next Tuesday, I'm wearing the Roswell brand.
Gotcha.
When I was a county commissioner, I wore the county commission brand.
Sure.
Just like you got a fence between two ranches, but that doesn't mean you can't get along and talk across the fence.
Sure.
Take somebody's livestock home for them. You expect the same thing in return. That doesn't mean you can't work with people.
Sure.
It's just that your focus has to be on the brand you're riding for.
Sure. I would also maybe, and I can let you should talk more on this, but obviously we've the relationship between city, county, city. I mean, yeah, I would say in the big picture, there's a good relationship. But, at the end of the day, there's county needs, there's city needs, and sometimes that's where the rubber doesn't meet the road sometimes here. I imagine now, with experience in both levels, things like that, I imagine you being on the city side can maybe close some of those gaps a little bit. That's just me reading the tea leaves here. Am I pretty close on that? Or
I'm hopeful that the county and the city can work closely or more closely on some projects. I mean, it's just crazy to try to divide and conquer, because that doesn't work. We need to unify to conquer.
Sure.
And I know the county, I know all the commissioners subject to election this November. But trust me, I'll know whoever gets elected, because I'll make it a point to. And there's no reason we can't join on some projects, get some stuff done. We need to work together.
Sure.
We need to communicate with each other. Just like, I can't do anything by myself on the city council. I got to go get 5 more people to vote with me. That's 6.
Sure.
Or have the mayor convinced to have a 5-5 and have he or she break the tie my way. But and that's just, when I was in the House, 62 members in the House. 42 members in the Senate. Well, after I got my House stuff done, I had to go over and convince 21 senators plus 1 that this is a good idea. And so that's not new to me by any stretch.
Sure. So whether it's 5 or 9 others, you gotta convince that it is what it is. It's
what makes it harder on the city council is the Open Meetings Act and some of that stuff. You've got to be careful. Can't get a whole group. Now, if the committees presently are 4 counselors on each one. So if I talk to one of my committee members, I can't talk to anybody else. Because then that's a quorum. Same way on the city council.
Sure.
I can talk to 4. I'm not real sure how the coin toss is on the 5th one.
Gotcha. And again, that's to keep everything transparent.
Well,
it can be inconvenient at times, but it's in place for a good reason.
Well, yeah. Mike, I was judge for 15 years.
Yeah.
I play by the rules.
You see the reason why we need these rules and why we have them.
And I'm going to play by the rules.
Sure, yeah.
The other, sometimes I feel like the city council's not as transparent as they need to be.
Okay.
So, I think they need to have an opportunity for more public input on some things.
Gotcha.
And there's not anything in the rule book that says I can't have a whatever committee I'm on, budget, legal, infrastructure, whatever, that you can't ask questions of the public at that. It's a publicized meeting. It meets all the criteria. Everybody here, not the whole city council, but hopefully 4 if they all show up at the meeting.
Sure.
And that's the way it is.
I know we've talked a lot about spending and where we go with the money here. I do want one area that's kind of been a hot button over the last couple of years here is the city facilities and the cost to get in these things and all of that stuff. We've had the city on. We talk about, we've heard, the convention center back at the money that we've lost, before when they're charging whatever it was $300 per for entry fees, things like that. Your thoughts on just how they handled all this, and what, as city councilor, would you start fooling with this stuff, or your thoughts on it? What are your opinions?
No, we need to really look at this fee structure.
Mm-hmm.
Just not. It's my understanding it's the first one.
Gotcha. Okay. He's got a card for this too.
I got two more to go. We'll see how good you are, Michael.
I got a card for all of them.
But the taxpayers paid for all these facilities over the years. Good thing, bad thing. Decision was made. We stepped up to the plate.
Right.
I believe that reasonable fees can be paid for a reasonable request.
Gotcha.
I don't think the fee structure right now is reasonable.
Gotcha.
So I think we need to do that. We've got the adult center, the museum, the zoo. Yeah, I went a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months now, I don't remember. I was down in San Antonio, and I went to their zoo. I paid money to get in. But it's a big zoo.
Sure.
And
I'm sure San Antonio got a slightly bigger zoo than we do.
Yeah. But instead of charging $20, charge $5 or whatever the deal is.
Sure.
I don't like, if I want to go to the zoo, I need to pay the same fee as my cousin from out of town.
Gotcha. No special rates for live closer to it or not.
But that way you can compress that burden.
Gotcha.
If I want to go to the zoo or to the museum.
Mm-hmm.
We've got great museums. We got more museums, good museums. We got the Anderson Museum, privately owned.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Roswell Museum, owned by the city, and we've got the Heritage Museum.
Yeah, the Historical Society there on Lee Street and everything.
Matter of fact, aren't you on their board?
I am. Well, there you go.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, Big Mike. That's all part of that there. So.
Well, I was on that board for a while.
Yeah.
And it just got to conflicting with too many meetings in Santa Fe. So.
I understand that. It's a good board, though. It's a working board. Yeah.
Well, and you guys got a jewel over there.
We do. We do.
And the Archive Center and all that stuff. Oh, I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, Jason Garcia, board president, will be on next hour here with us.
Okay.
So.
Good. Well, the segue.
There you go. But yeah, I get what you're saying here. And I've always, that was one of the things I always wondered. It's like, okay, I get you need to raise prices or whatever you got to do, but you can't go from $300 to $5,000. You know what I mean? That's a huge, that's a huge pill to swallow from a change in because. In essence, you're forcing every nonprofit that uses that place to reevaluate right away whether they can even afford to show up at your place and still be a nonprofit. And the answer was no for many nonprofits and things.
Yep. Well, the city, they're going up on everything. The Raiders play field, they're going up. I don't know. There's an email came through, went from $4,500 a month to $14,000 a month or something.
Right.
I don't know. Let me tell you a story.
All right.
Okay. That used to belong to the Fair Board.
The convention center?
The baseball diamond.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And a while back, now this is secondhand because I was talking to Fair Board members.
Okay.
City wanted the ball field.
Okay.
So the Fair Board gave them the ball field.
Okay.
Now Fair Board's still in charge of all the parking around, okay? And one of the Fair Board said, and the city said, were you all interested in taking the ball field back? And they said, sure.
Okay.
And they said, yeah, okay, we'll get all the paperwork done. Oh, no. Now the city says you got to go get an appraisal.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
We gave it to you.
Right.
What? Hey, buddy.
You just give it back.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, this happened while I was a judge, so I was very involved with it. we built the county built the new jail. I wasn't a commissioner then, and it has a courtroom in it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the district judges, municipal judges, wanted to go out there and do their in-jail work instead of transporting prisoners.
Okay.
Possibly getting contraband, somebody escaping, all that stuff.
Right.
So the city decided they wanted to annex the jail. So they went to the fair board, and the fair board said, because at that time the fair grounds were in the county.
Okay.
They said, okie dokie, we don't care. And that was their segue to get into the jail, which is behind the fair grounds on Atkinson.
Yeah.
And Atkinson and Bland, I believe. Not Bland, Mescalero.
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, that's not right. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm as bad as I'm awful at street names.
Hey,
I'm like, that one over there, Union. Like, no, that's not Union.
It's late in the campaign, and I'm kind of.
I do that anywhere, man. The sharpest of brains.
Oh, you come by naturally.
Yeah, I do.
So, and part of that deal, because the district judge, believe it or not, didn't have jurisdiction to go out there and hold hearings.
Okay.
Municipal judge certainly did not.
Mm-hmm.
So they annexed it, and those judges went out there and did their thing. Great. Well, there's a handshake deal as part of this thing that the city of Roswell would always support the fair with fire and police. This year, they were missing in action.
Wow.
They wanted to charge the fair board. I don't know how much. I could never get that information. That's the reason why I was talking to the fair board members. And so the county sheriff and the New Mexico Mounted Patrol stepped up to the plate.
Filled the void there.
Yeah. And the Dexter volunteers brought the fire protection, brought the equipment. Now, Mike, it's in the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
It's a requirement, in my mind, for the city to step up and do what's right.
I would agree with that, and because the city certainly benefits when the fair comes to town. People come and eat in the restaurants and shop in our stores and stay in our hotels and all of that stuff when the Eastern New Mexico State Fair comes to town. That's just a fact, And you're right. I agree. I completely agree with you on that one. So.
Well, I mean, it was just wrong.
Yeah.
And it's the fourth item there. On the
I got a card for that, too. We're out of time. I just saw up here. But I do want to give you an opportunity. Anything we didn't cover, anything that you wanted to make sure that you told folks that we got sidetracked on. I want to give you that opportunity.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to close with my normal spiel. I hope everybody out there in Ward 4 goes to the polls.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck on picking your mayor candidate. That's up to you. Vote for Robert Korn, that's the name that's on the ballot.
Yeah, you look for Robert. If you look for Bob, you're going to be looking a while.
It's number 2 on, or at least it was number 2 on my ballot.
Gotcha.
And I've got the experience. I can go to work day one.
Is there? I know you're not a man of technology here, but is for folks that want to reach out to you? What's the best way to get a hold of Bob right now? If you wanted to, either if they have questions or want to get involved in the campaign, helping out, whatever.
Well, a mailer going out should be in their mailbox today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Got my email address.
Gotcha. You can shoot there. You can shoot it out.
If you got a question for me, I've been behind in my door knocking a little bit. Because I had COVID for 2 weeks.
Ooh, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm great.
Good.
That was back in January.
Okay.
And that's the second time I've had it. I had it in January 2 years ago before COVID was cool.
Gotcha, yeah.
And I was in a motel room in Santa Fe, New Mexico for 5 days.
Oh.
That was miserable.
That sounds like a party.
I've about caught up. I've had some great support from people financially. I've got great set of volunteers. We got out there, we rolled up our sleeves, we knocked doors. Day before yesterday, we were out there knocking. It's 37 degrees. That's how dedicated my volunteers are.
That's awesome.
There's not words to thank these people.
Some of those folks, they really make us look good sometimes when they help out get into that. You're right. So, as always, Bob, appreciate your visit here, and I know we'll talk to you a bunch, win, lose, or draw here, and anytime you got open invite, you got needed to talk to folks, we got a place to come on in.
Yeah. I got your number, bud. Now, we need to talk about the door that you can't get into at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, there's a man who owns this building. His name's Colt Gibson. You need to talk to him about that one.
I know Mr. Gibson, and I will call and harass him about that.
There you go. I think you calling him versus me would have a better impact. I think usually when the radio guy calls, people they hit ignore is what it usually happens.
Matter of fact, I think he's a locksmith, and I think I remember where his shop is.
That's right. You can hunt him down.
And it's what, almost 8 o'clock or a little after?
Yeah, about time for him to be checking in, right?
There you go. You know where I'm going.
There you go. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit. Appreciate all you do for us here in southeast New Mexico and Roswell. And we look forward to more fun and frivolity in the times ahead here. So
come on Tuesday.
There you go. That's
Four
one
more
thing.
Days.
That's one thing I've heard every single candidate said. Tuesday can't get here quick enough. They're ready for this thing.
It'll be here when it gets here.
It absolutely
enjoyed
will.
it, Mike. Thank
all
you
right,
a lot.
Take care. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Glad you're feeling better too. Glad to hear that. All right, 7:51. Let's go ahead and play some local news and a quick commercial break before, more news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. Another round of COVID-19 at-home tests are now scheduled to be given out to Artesia residents. The handout event will be held on Saturday, March 12th at J.C. Park from 10 a.m. to noon. The Eddy County Office of Emergency Management will be handing out the at-home COVID tests at no cost to residents. If you would like more information, you can call 628-5454. There is a new opioid addiction treatment center opening in Roswell. A firm called Renew Health has opened the treatment center on North Union Avenue. It will focus on opiate addiction, but will also offer help for alcohol and methamphetamine addiction. A grand opening ceremony was held this week where Roswell Mayor Dennis Kintai said opioid addiction is a scourge that affects all of us. Renew Health owner Trent Carter said there is a huge void in addiction treatment centers all across southeast New Mexico, and he hopes to fill that void. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure headed off to the east, and we've got high pressure setting up over southern New Mexico, so we've got a fair weekend coming up. Low to mid-50s, breezy, and a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Overnight will be partly cloudy and cold, dipping into the low 20s, and then it looks like mid-50s and sunshine for Saturday, back up to about 60 and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Some good, some bad for the Goddard Rockets last night. It was a doubleheader on the hardwood, and the Goddard girls started off with a victory over Artesia, 58-41. That moves Goddard into the district tournament championship game at Portales tonight. Alexis Sandoval, 21 points for Goddard. Erica Cannon had 10. Goddard jumped out to a 10-0 lead and really never looked back against the Lady Bulldogs. Meanwhile, the game after that, that's the bad. Lovington defeated Goddard again by a score 46-43. Remember, Lovington defeated Goddard at Goddard last week. So now it's Goddard hoping for a playoff berth when the playoffs brackets are announced over the weekend. We'll see what happens. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden ordered broad new sanctions targeting Russia on Thursday after its invasion of Ukraine, declaring that Russian leader Vladimir Putin chose this war and his country will bear the consequences. The sanctions target Russian banks, oligarchs, and the United States and its allies will block assets of 4 large Russian banks, impose export controls, and sanction oligarchs. The number of Americans collecting unemployment benefits fell to a 52-year low after another decline in jobless aid and applications last week. Jobless claims fell by 17,000 from 249,000 to 232,000 for the week ending February 19th. That's according to the U.S. Department of Labor. On Wall Street, the Dow up 92 points, the Nasdaq up 436, and the S&P 500 rose 63. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hi, Roswell. I'm Guy Malone, candidate for mayor. Welcome to my non-mudslinging political campaign ad. I want you to visit roswellguy.com to find out about all the good reasons you have to actually vote for someone, not vote against someone. Refreshing idea, hey? Well, I've got lots more where that came from. You know and I know that Roswell is destined for same stuff, different year if we don't vote for positive changes that bring Roswell's politics and economy into the 21st century. Malone for mayor, roswellguy.com.
Paid for by Guy Malone for Roswell.
Ed Hildenbrand, candidate for city council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and chief financial officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildenbrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Hildenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Hildenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump? Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hi, I'm Dennis Kintai, Mayor of Roswell. Since becoming mayor in 2014, we've accomplished a lot. We've cleaned out numerous derelict structures that spoil our neighborhoods. We've constructed a state-of-the-art aquatic center. We have built 2 new splash pads in city parks for families to enjoy. We have invested over $25 million to revitalize our air center. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Roswell has stayed open and free while we work to ensure everyone's safety. Today, we are under attack from those trying to impose Santa Fe values on our way of life. I will always fight to keep Roswell values front and center. We've done a lot, but there's more to be done. I'm asking you to vote to keep me, Dennis Kintai, as your mayor on March 1st. Together, we can keep Roswell free. This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has 1 less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. Next hour, we're going to talk with the Historical Society, and we're going to talk with mayoral candidate Tim Jennings. All that next hour. Don't go away. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason.
There are heroes in Ukraine's resistance to Putin's onslaught. Tragically, some of them gave their lives in defense of their homeland. 13 Ukrainian border guards paid the ultimate price after telling an invading warship in no uncertain terms that they would never lay down their arms as the Russians demanded. The brave Ukrainians live streaming their act of heroism as the Russians opened fire on them and the island they were defending. Those young Ukrainians, they died for their country. Air raid sirens sounding in Kiev as Russian forces move in, day 2 of Putin's invasion. The BBC's Nick Beak in the Ukrainian capital.
Overnight Russian aerial attacks hit the densely populated Pozniaky area of Kyiv. One of the many tower blocks in the neighborhood caught light and windows were blown out. Working in the smoke and debris, firefighters managed to put out the flames as explosions continued to rock the city. At least 8 people have been injured in Pozniaky. One resident vowed, "Putin, we want to see you slaughtered like an animal."
Critics in the U.S. complaining that President Biden's sanctions on Vladimir Putin and Russia are too little, too late, noting the failure to sever Russia's ties to the SWIFT international banking system.
Republicans, while hammering Putin's march toward war, also wasted no time placing the blame for the escalating hostilities squarely on the shoulders of President Biden, saying his administration cleared the way for Russia's aggression with a series of foreign policy blunders, including the disastrous withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan last August. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Putin would not have been emboldened to send upwards of 150,000 troops to the Ukrainian border, quote, had we not precipitously withdrawn from Afghanistan.
That's correspondent Bernie Bennett. Watching Wall Street, stocks are mixed at the moment. Right now, the Dow is up 88 points, while the NASDAQ down 100. The S&P is off a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/LBox to save 40%. That's legacybox.com/LBox to get started and save. legacybox.com/LBox.
A Maryland judge has ruled Republican legal challenges to Maryland's redrawn congressional map can mostly proceed.
The Baltimore Sun reports that Judge Lynn Battaglia largely rejected a request by attorneys for the state to dismiss them. While the judge dismissed one of the counts, Battaglia ruled the rest of the case can move forward. 2 lawsuits argue that partisan gerrymandering by Democratic state lawmakers violate provisions in the state constitution. The claims have not previously been tested in Maryland courts. A separate set of lawsuits over the redrawn districts for 188 members of the General Assembly are before the state's highest court. Keith Peters reporting.
The number of cars and trucks blocking the streets outside New Zealand's parliament is thinning a bit, but more protesters expected to arrive for the weekend, including some by boat. For more than 2 weeks, protesters against COVID virus vaccine mandates have been camping outside Parliament. Townhall.com. The COVID pandemic has been a huge shot in the arm for this drug maker.
COVID vaccine sales jumped 44% for Moderna in the final quarter of 2021. And the drug maker expects demand for booster shots to fuel more growth in 2022. Moderna has signed purchase agreements for about $19 billion in sales for 2022, with options for an additional $3 billion that would cover any updated boosters the company is developing. Company leaders firmly believe booster shots will be required next fall and expect sales to be larger in the second half of the year. John Scott reporting.
Reports this morning from multiple media outlets that President Biden has decided to nominate federal appeals court judge Ketanji Brown Jackson for the U.S. Supreme Court. First black woman on the high court, she would be part of the Supreme Court's liberal wing. And once again on Wall Street right now, the Dow up 155 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wild
wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tablet said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Oh, they call it the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. I say it again. Happy Friday. Welcome to it. It's fun to say.
Yes.
Say it to yourselves. I'll wait. Pretty cool, huh? It is.
Did you feel it?
Did you feel it? A happy Friday. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Don't forget, the South Main McDonald's is full on open now. You can go right now in there and get you some breakfast, drive through, dine in, carry out, whatever your proclivity is. They can do it. Don't forget the app.
Yes.
Download the app. Exclusive deals are available only through that app sometimes. And you can find, you're like, hey, where'd you get that? The app.
Yep. By the way, hack's still on for a limited time. Make it happen.
If I started a trend, I'm going to take back application. Everyone says apps.
You're linking it?
I think I'm going to go back and say, hey, I've got 37 applications on my phone. I downloaded the McDonald's application the other day.
Think about how much time you save, though. Think about how much time it takes to say location.
Yeah, I know, but say I'm at a restaurant that serves appetizers. And I start saying, would you like an app? And I'm like, no, I got 37 of them on my phone. He's like, no, this app. Which app are we talking about now? Are we talking about mozzarella sticks, or are we talking about something that goes on my phone?
But see, now it's a matter of context.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're at. If I'm at a TGI Fridays and somebody asks me if I'd like a nice hot app, I'm not going to assume they're talking about Tinder.
You never know.
It is a nice hot app, but...
All I'm saying is are we that lazy in society that we can't say location?
Have you been on TikTok?
I have.
The answer to that question is a resounding yes. Yes, we are.
But if we go by what people do on TikTok, all I'm saying is
we do now.
We're doomed.
That's pretty much what it is. Very odd to be following everything going on with Ukraine and the invasion on TikTok. It's like, yes, they said the revolution would be televised, but apparently it's also going to be live streamed with a bunch of emojis and weird chat.
Were you not around for Gulf War I? We all sat down and watched the war happen.
Yeah, but they didn't have an active chat going during the whole time with people going first.
They had the media sitting on the beach interviewing the soldiers as they were coming and storming the...
Sir, wait, sir.
Can we pause the attack to come talk to us for a minute? Where are you from?
It was weird though when they were on the beach waiting for those for the soldiers to storm. They still managed to find that old fat woman in the muumuu. It's so weird how they always find that one lady. I was over here and I saw them storming the beaches and I didn't know what to think.
That's right. There's always the one. Woo! Yeah. It was amazing.
With a weird line of clothes in the background.
Yeah. Same person standing in 3 foot of water during a hurricane.
One sheet with the flower pattern waving in the wind.
Yep. But anyway, application. Do me a favor, everyone. Just start saying it. Just say, hey, I've downloaded your application. I'd like to, I just want to start that trend. So
then do we take where we use application in normal life? Do we then just start using app? So, I'll go ahead and turn in an app, and I'll get it up to HR and see if we can't get you hired.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Because on the off chance someone might show up with a plate of nachos to turn in, I think I would be okay with that.
Sir, I don't know. He brought us mozzarella sticks. I say we hire him.
There you go. Hey, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk with Jason Garcia and John LeMay from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. They're going to join us. Don't forget, we got Donald Blake Burchell doing a book signing and meet and greet this Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about that. Talk scholarships, all kind of stuff here in just a few minutes. Then mayoral candidate Tim Jennings will join us here about 8:30 or so, and we'll talk with him on why you should vote for him for mayor. And then that should pretty much fill out the hour for today. Big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any of your McDonald's, including the new South Main, and get you fueled up this morning. It is 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Quick commercial break, and then we'll be back on the other side. And I lie, it's 5-minute break. It's political season. We'll be back.
Hi, Roswell. I'm Guy Malone, candidate for mayor. Welcome to my non-mudslinging political campaign ad. I want you to visit roswellguy.com to find out about all the good reasons you have to actually vote for someone, not vote against someone. Refreshing idea, hey? Well, I've got lots more where that came from. You know and I know that Roswell is destined for same stuff, different year if we don't vote for positive changes that bring Roswell's politics and economy into the 21st century. Malone for mayor, roswellguy.com. Paid for by Guy Malone for Roswell.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
I'm Alicia Gilmore, candidate for City Council Ward 4. I'm a proud citizen of Roswell, and I want to see our community grow. That starts with the focus on growing our economy, reducing crime, and focusing on infrastructure. Roswell is our home, and for too long, problems like crime, road conditions, and economic stagnancy have plagued Roswell's growth. I want to make it my focus to bring attention to these issues and to make Roswell a better place for all of our families. I'm Alicia Gilmore, asking for your vote for Ward 4 on March 1st, and I approve this message.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
So what am I doing with my tax refund? I'm giving my home a makeover with new furniture from Glenn's. A new living room, dining room, and bedroom. Even a curio cabinet for my elephant collection. Glenn's has beautiful, high-quality furniture that I'll be proud of for years. And Glenn's will deliver it for free. So my tax refund and I are headed for Glenn's. And my home is going to be fresh, bright, and beautiful. Since 1953, people have been coming to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we. And I approve this message.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical.
Name to remember.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Buying a good, clean, reliable pre-owned vehicle is just about the smartest thing you can do these days. But how do you know it's good, clean, and reliable? Well, just visit your friends at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have over 100 outstanding pre-owned vehicles ready to serve you and your family for years to come. How do you know? Because we put everyone through a rigorous 139-point inspection, and we give you a 3-day money-back guarantee to be sure it's right. These are vehicles you'll be proud to own and thrilled to drive, like a 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid for just $11,980, a 2017 Ford Escape for just $15,980, and a 2020 Ford Explorer XLT for just $39,980, plus about 100 more that are just as good. Sure, you can get a used car just about anywhere, but you'll only find a selection like this at Roswell Ford. So don't take chances. Come by and see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studios this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, we have Board President Jason Garcia and John LeMay back with us. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Good.
How's the week going for you all?
We're at Friday.
Yeah. Just thank God it's Friday.
That's right.
Well, and in all fairness, thank God it's Friday. We actually have a busy weekend for folks.
Yes.
With the Historical Society. I know we talked to Donna a week or two ago here, and of course we've had to Amy here. But this Sunday is the book signing meet and greet with Donna Blake Burchell. Her latest book, which is called New Mexico Ghost Towns.
Right.
She's going to be there. John's going to be there too, signing. Well, not her books, but his books.
His books.
Yeah, Donna and I co-wrote a book together, so I think we'll be signing that one, the Hidden History of New Mexico, which has been out for a while now.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys, and we always make the joke, she's kind of the version of you down in Carlsbad and vice versa. But,
I was in the Historical Society yesterday, and I didn't realize how many new books that both John and Donna have there.
Sure.
Just the one that she's going to be promoting, but...
Absolutely, yeah, and if you want, I know with John, if you want to venture outside of New Mexico history a little bit and venture into some of his other genres of books, particularly like Godzilla, stuff like that, he's got some interesting stuff. Not on the Historical Society's website, but online.
But they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can ask them about them on Sunday here. But that'll be 2 to 3:30. Donna and John will be there. They're going to be a short presentation about the book. It's anytime we have an event there's usually snacks, refreshments, and treats and goodies and things like that. And of course, if you want to talk to the authors, either John or Donna here, and that's the fun part is you get to sit back and I know you do, and I know Donna just loves talking with folks about various subjects and things when it relates to the history here, and I'm sure you guys get stories from other people. Like saying, y'all talking about this section, and they probably relate to some stories that their family have from that part of the country or something like that. I'm sure you get that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of good ideas.
Yeah, things like that.
Put it in your queue just in case.
Note to self. But absolutely. So come on out 2 to 3:30 this Sunday, and it's going to be at the Archives facility, which is right next door to the museum there, 208 North Lee Street there. So,
right.
Yeah. You want to talk a little scholarships real quick?
Well, first thing I'd like to mention is the mission of the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico.
I don't go in order. That's how
it's
I'm
all
all
good.
over the map.
The main thing is for people to know is that we're our whole existence is to preserve and promote history, particularly for Southeast New Mexico. And so part of that is sharing the information with the youth, and that's where we have our youth tours and things like that. But we also have to maintain those facilities, and so we're constantly working on projects to keep them up in good working order. And so we encourage you, if you can support us in any way.
Absolutely.
We've got this loose change drive that's ongoing. We appreciate any donation.
Yeah, you drop a couple quarters in there, $1 or whatever you got, and we've already collected several grand just from people
just
doing
from
that.
Change, that helps us get by. And so anybody that wants to make a small donation, we'll take it.
And every little penny of it goes to programs and
put to good use
and uses there at the Historical Society.
Definitely, good stewards of that money. And then, like you mentioned, we've got the Historical Society scholarships coming up. Mm-hmm. We give away scholarship money to high school seniors and even Youth Challenge cadets who graduate.
Yeah.
And
there's most of it, and there's different categories. So if you're pursuing STEM related career fields, there's a category for that. Arts and humanities, I believe, history, obviously, and then one of the big ones, which everyone that applies gets in consideration for, is the character.
Right.
And that's pretty broad, as far as your scholarships. But we're looking for good, well-rounded, people of character to apply for that one.
Yeah. So the one thing that we need to make sure that people know is our deadline is the 1st of April. So we need to get
about a month.
Yeah, I got about a month to get your application turned in, and then we'll start the reviewing process.
Absolutely. But if you go to roswellnmhistory.org, you'll find the information and the application and everything there. But it will turn into a pumpkin there April 1st. So by close of business there April 1st, get those applications in.
Right.
And I will tell you this, competition is stringent. We have some very well-qualified candidates from really all over the state. It's not just Southeast New Mexico. We get applicants from all over New Mexico. And we got some really good students that apply for this. So they make it very difficult for our selection committee to find the right. They put them through the ringer to get them to get the right candidates for these scholarships.
Well, it's amazing how much talent there is out there.
Absolutely.
And some of them are just recognizing that they can write.
Yeah.
If they put their mind to it, and it's really entertaining for the committee to read through these applications. And sometimes it's really difficult to make a determination because we are limited on how many scholarships we can give, but you'd like to recognize all of them.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, that's the hard part.
Right.
It's like they're all deserving,
Sure.
And it's but please get and we. I say it's been a great success over the years. We've got some wonderful students that have received the scholarship, and it's always come back. We see them and talk to them. It's not like here's $1,500 and good luck to you.
Yeah, it's not fire and forget.
Yeah,
we definitely stay in contact with those that we can, and a lot of them will reach back and they're very appreciative, and so that's really rewarding in itself.
Absolutely. So again, roswellnmhistory.org is the website. Deadline to get your application in is April 1 here.
Yes.
What else did we want to make sure? I know there's a couple of things.
I want to encourage visits. So we're doing visits and tours of the Historical Society and Archive by appointment.
Yes, personalized, private.
Personalized,
tours.
yeah. I mean, and it makes it a little bit more special. It's a lot of fun. And so you just have to call down there, and we will get one of our docents or volunteers. Mm-hmm. I guess that's the same thing, but
no, we pay. No, I'm just kidding.
And they'll come down and give you a personalized tour of the entire facility. So
awesome. And like I said, it is kind of better because when you get in a big group, there might be questions and things you don't get a chance to ask because it's just not time, or a lot of people here. It's you and your group. It's like, what's that hanging over there? Oh, and they'll be able to tell you. Or why did they do it that way? And they can tell you.
Well, just the other day, Fred Boggs gave a tour to some folks that came through, and they had a real eye for the carpentry and things like that. And he pointed out some things that I had never noticed. The pocket doors are built to really have a tight seal.
Okay.
And so if you look at the close at the woodwork, they're built so that they fit together and seal up that room. And so, I mean, just little things like that are really cool.
Sure. Well, that goes back to that point. You know, they don't build them like they used to.
They don't build them like they used to. That's for sure.
It's sad but true.
Unless you might pay a little extra.
It's true. Yeah, you could, but yeah, you're paying for it. But again, just reach out, call us, or shoot an email, historydirector@outlook.com, to our executive director Amy, and we'll get something set up for you. Get those tours done. You know, youth groups, families.
Well, we've got a lot of events coming up. You just got to keep your eye out, and as we advertise, and so we encourage you to stay plugged in with us because we always have something new coming up.
Absolutely, and of course, you can always. One great way to stay plugged in is become a member.
That's right.
Which we have various levels of membership, whether you want to do it as an individual or a couple or a family or a corporate sponsorship level. All those are available. Various levels, degrees, of course, and what your amenities of being a member is part of, and then also don't forget that archives facility is available for rental for the public too. So if you've got you need a meeting space that seats about 75 people capacity with full kitchen, all that, we have a facility that can meet your needs there. So. Good deal. Is there anything else we missed?
And John here?
John?
I'll just give you a preview of like some of the stuff Donna's going to talk about Sunday.
Give us a preview on Sunday.
Just to entice people. So, her book's going to be on ghost towns from across the whole state.
Right.
But I'm sure she'll emphasize the ones more of interest to us in our little corner. For instance, I bet you she'll talk about Phoenix. That's Phoenix without the O, outside of Carlsbad.
Okay.
It was this little town they built specifically just for drinking and gambling. And supposedly
debauchery town.
It supposedly though had like an underground tunnel.
Oh wow!
So that way you could enter and exit the town without being seen.
Nice.
And it had
they thought of everything.
Yeah, how convenient.
And I think it had something to do with the governor at the time, which was Hinkle, I think. And maybe I'm mixing it up with another town, but he was the one I think at the time who had like outlawed gambling or something, so they were going to name the town Hinkle, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm mixing it up. There's some sort of story there, but yeah. So she'll talk about that, I'm sure. And even though what's cool though too is even though the book is New Mexico ghost towns, it actually has our little schoolhouse Fraser right on the front cover, which is cool. So
yeah,
that's cool. So get a copy if you haven't picked up a copy here, and she'll sign it. But I think. And that's what I love about these books, and I think everyone would be into them. People say that into history and stuff, but don't tell me you wouldn't love to hear a story about a ghost town that was devoted to drinking and gambling that was, built on the DLs, basically. That sounds pretty cool to hear that story. So.
Yeah, and like Jason said, she's done actually quite a few new books that she hasn't spoken on, like ones like, I can't remember what it's called, like Roadside Gems of New Mexico or something.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
She has a lot of new stuff that we have in stock. So
okay.
The one that I noticed that I'm going to go pick up is the Forts of New Mexico, and I kind of flipped through it, and I couldn't believe how many military forts there were from the old West days.
Yeah, I would imagine,
it's amazing.
And real quick, we're about out of time, but just a quick plug. If you've never been down to Fort Stanton and everything, go check that out.
That's awesome.
That was one of those things, you go to Lincoln all the time, but but about a year ago, I finally took the time to go. I mean, we drove by it a bunch of times, but to stop, see the museum, see the barracks, see the
they've done
campus.
a good job with it.
It's amazing, that campus, and there's so much history there. You don't realize how much went on at that place till you get there, and because it really covers. It's not just Billy the Kid. It's all the way up to World War I, and
it's well maintained too.
Yeah, from pretty much the history between the Civil War up to World War I. There's a ton of history regarding World War II actually too, with the POW-MIA. It really. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Right. So preserving and promoting history, that's what we're here for.
Come out this Sunday, 2 to 3:30. That'll be at the Archives Facility, 208 North Lee. If you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to check out our website, roswellnmhistory.org, or email our executive director, historydirector@outlook.com. Do you guys know the number to the office? I never remember the number to the office.
I think it's 622-8333.
That sounds right. Yeah. That sounds right. I never remember it.
I never call that number.
I don't either. I never call. But good deal. Is there anything we missed? Did we get it all?
I think we covered it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys here. I'll probably see you in a few days or next week.
See you
or
on
whenever.
Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. There perfect. So thank you guys, and we'll see you then, okay?
All right. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend. It is 8:29. We're going to pause for some Pecos Valley news and a quick break, and then we'll have Tim Jennings, mayoral candidate, join us on the other side. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. Another round of COVID-19 at-home tests are now scheduled to be given out to Artesia residents. The handout event will be held on Saturday, March 12th at J.C. Park from 10 a.m. to noon. The Eddy County Office of Emergency Management will be handing out the at-home COVID tests at no cost to residents. If you would like more information, you can call 628-5454. There is a new opioid addiction treatment center opening in Roswell. A firm called Renew Health has opened the treatment center on North Union Avenue. It will focus on opiate addiction, but will also offer help for alcohol and methamphetamine addiction. A grand opening ceremony was held this week where Roswell Mayor Dennis Kintai said opioid addiction is a scourge that affects all of us. Renew Health owner Trent Carter said there is a huge void in addiction treatment centers all across southeast New Mexico, and he hopes to fill that void. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Have you ever wondered how prayer works? If you answered yes, you are most likely like the rest of us. Prayer certainly is not to inform God, the God of the universe, about personal matters in your life. After all, He already knows what's going on. He made you. You don't have to pray to gain God's acceptance either. He loves you, and we know this because Jesus died for you. So why do we pray? For starters, the Father wants to hear from His children. In my family, I often know what's going on with my children, but I love to hear their voices in my ears. Have you ever been stressed over life or anxiety that no person can help with? Well, prayer is good for that as well. There was a guy named Paul who wrote to a church telling them not to be anxious about anything but to pray. He told them that the peace that they could not understand would guard their hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So whatever's going on, whatever's happening, just pray. Give it a try.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear Renee's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 32 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, mayoral candidate Tim Jennings with us this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Morning, Mike. How are you? Doing great.
Doing pretty good. How's life treating you right now?
Oh, it's pretty good. We're down the last couple of days. It's all good.
I imagine one thing I've heard universal with every candidate I've talked to, they're ready for Tuesday. They're ready to get this over with, I think.
Yep.
I'm sure you're in the same boat.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat. That's true.
First off, as I've been saying with everybody, thank you for stepping up and doing this and running. Win, lose or draw. We appreciate folks that are willing to step up and say, I want to do something for our community here. So thank you for doing that. We do appreciate that.
We might all have differences of opinions and stuff, but we all do care about our community.
Absolutely.
And that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the $1 million question, what made you decide to say, you know what? I want to be running. I mean, for folks that know, you've served in various levels, county, state, every level, in government here. What made you say, you know what, now I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here for mayor? What kind of made you say that's something I need to do?
My main goal, my main thing is to find get a coordinated effort to try to find jobs and get jobs here to Roswell.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we need. I turned around and looked, and I remember when the base closed when I was growing up, I remember that, and I remember how depressed we were.
Yeah.
And when we didn't hit the census number of 50, we haven't hit it for 30 years. I mean, to me, it's like, we really need to see what we can get and work on our economic development, or we're going to get left behind. Sure. I mean, Carlsbad and Hobbs flew by us in this oil and all the oil play. We get a lot of oil business from here. And there's a lot of landmen and people who make their living in the oil industry here. And so we don't have the oil under us is our problem.
Sure.
And so we've got to find something else. And to me, that is the Air Center.
Absolutely. And I think, like you agree, that's kind of the linchpin here. I think for our potential here in southeast New Mexico is that Mecca. And as you know, and as many know, Roswell already kind of is that Mecca city for southeast New Mexico. People come here to recreate, work, play, the whole nine. So it's really, that airport can really almost solidify that.
Yeah.
And expand those services.
Yeah, it's a place where we can pick back up a lot of those jobs that we had when we had TMC and Millennium, and making those buses was a real big deal. And that, one bus company bought out the other and closed it, and then we ended up losing that. And this is where we can go over and keep on going. And I think if we can get the Air Center thing with a number of companies here having different hangars here doing different things, I think it's not a one thing industry, so we can probably keep it a little better.
Sure.
And
what let me ask this, so like for when we talk about the growth and everything, what you see is going on now, do you think they're heading in that right direction, or do you think we need to change up how we're doing things?
Well, right now we're still working on one of the last places over there where you could where you have existing utilities, and that's where we have to change. Ascent is going to be it's going to be a fabulous thing for us to get here. Okay. And we all look at that, and although that wasn't necessarily in the thoughts of the that wasn't necessarily in the for Ascent wasn't in the plan for the 5 million exactly when we started, but in looking at that and talking with Alicia Keys from Secretary of Economic Development stuff, this is something that we could really move forward with, is getting on the getting that open. That would be the first one that could be in here, show how well we could do with that. And so that we still have the same needs going through here on doing the south and the east side of that base, and we can get there. And I think with the extra money that we got in this year's session, I'm sure we can get there and put all the infrastructure in. So now we can come in and put in an engine remanufacturing plant. We can put somebody in there to go in, a company in there to work and change up the interior of those planes to where they can haul cargo. The 747 is now ceased production, as I understand it, and the 767 now is 30 years old, so it will probably become more of the mainstay for cargo planes, flying cargo, and especially with the Amazon and the eBay and everything going on now, UPS, that's all going to be they're going to be changing those planes from passenger to cargo planes, and we're still set. We just need to really get that infrastructure in and get going.
So there's by the way, quick update. Mike had to run. He's got a bit of an emergency that he had to run, so I'm taking over for the time being. So let's back up just a little bit. We're specifically talking about the infrastructure as far as like the potential for our air center, the potential for the airstrip out there. It really is. I mean, the sky's the limit. Pardon the pun. I just think that we need to put some things in place to make it happen.
That's correct
for the most part. So and that's something that's important. So what are some other things that you specifically want to focus on with your time?
You mean other than the Air Center, or
like as sorry, I'm again coming into this a little late, so I'm
this is
trying.
kind of a yeah.
We're ducking and moving here, but as far as like your stances on different things around the city of Roswell, if you're elected, what are some things that you want to put in place to sort of make Roswell a better place?
You know, I think we need to reevaluate our park situation and see where we are about getting things together with the parks. Parks are a place to get families together, get people playing together, get children from all economic levels. Hopefully, they'll get together and they can play and do things. And the same it goes forward when you not just parks, but you look. I think we need to reestablish the adult center and get the adult center going again. And you know, it wasn't it's not necessarily a money maker, but if you can get, you know, at the adult center they had 2 or 3 different women's groups that would go in there and they would dance, and then they would go perform at nursing homes, and they would go do shows but it's means of getting people out, getting people together, and having dancing. So when you turn around and you look at our museums, people that have not experienced and seen the talent that comes out of the Roswell Museum,
absolutely,
it's incredible. And you know, when you look at the potters, I mean, the things that those potters can do, and the statues or the plates or whatever that they make, it all takes something, and it that kind of thing brings talent to your community, and it brings culture and kind of class, and it's a different thing, but you provide all these people in your community different opportunities to do different things. And some might like making pots, some they like making statues, some paint.
Sure.
And then, you know, over here somewhere else is another place that we have probably one of the best drag strips in New Mexico.
I agree.
And they're on the verge of, they brought some really high talent in here, and it's done real well. Now they only have, you know, 6 or 7 events a year, but it's something that brings a lot of people into New Mexico.
It offers a variety, and that's one thing that specifically here in southeastern New Mexico, you don't see a lot of variety in activities. You can do this thing, you can do that thing. Here in Roswell, you know, there's a variety of different activities, different structures, different setups. We just have to make sure that we have, you know, the structure in place to make sure that those places exist and can keep their doors open.
Yeah. And you know, I think going all along, you Hike and Spike It was an event that brought lots of people to Roswell and Artesia. I mean, people were staying in every hotel everywhere around.
I read a report once that Hike It Spike It brings in certain years has doubled that we've brought in that many people.
You know, we used to do that with the soccer tournaments at Cielo Grande. We would have the little ones come in, and then 2 weeks later we'd have an older group come in, and we'd fill the hotels up, you know, for, you know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And those were all good things. And the thing we have to kind of work on is when we get a good event going, we need to make sure that you know, where we can, that they have a board or somebody so when people do it for 4 or 5 years and they get a little burned out, then we can have someone else come up, go up the line with them and see. And that kind of coordination needs to happen. We need to make sure that when you use fields like that and Hike and Spike It, you need to make sure that we're careful about, if you're out in the middle of a soccer field and you have another event and you put tents up, you need to make sure that they fill all the holes,
right,
and stuff, so a little guy doesn't playing soccer doesn't run along and break his ankle stepping in a hole.
And there was a lot of work that just recently went into, you know, the landscape out there at Cielo Grande, and that's something that's you know, needs to be kept up with.
Yeah, you know, but we have, you know, and our existing ball fields need to be kept up with. You know, every little league team that we have out there, if there's a way, you know, we need to keep the cost of belonging to a little league team down as low as we can to get more and more children playing.
Sure.
In some little leagues, it's very very difficult when you look at the difference from what the economic level of the children in East Side's Little League, and then compare them to New Nop, and you compare them to Lions Hondo, and you look at that, and we need to figure that out, because then where East Side's Little League was, that was probably the most affordable housing, and when the East Side had the base, and they had what's known as East Roswell or Chihuahuita was, right. Those people had very little income, and they had fewer two-parent households and stuff where you had a coach, somebody who could coach the teams, and so that kind of, I think it played a little bit help with the demise of East Side.
Sure.
And because it's hard to get coaches and stuff, and so we need to look at that, see how it is, and make sure things are as balanced as we can to get where you have kids playing with kids of all economic levels. If you can do that, it really helps in the long run in the development of your community.
Sure. Bringing kids together, I think, is absolutely important. And now another thing that we touched on recently is with the with the whole COVID thing, with everything with COVID, we're sort of on the down slope of everything. Omicron cases are starting to kind of dwindle a bit, especially around here in southeastern New Mexico. Obviously, with issues with delays and getting products here, it's caused delays with construction projects that we have here in Roswell. It's caused issues with closures of a lot of roads. And I hear a lot of people complaining specifically about how the construction. I actually read a meme recently that said something to the effect of, you're from Roswell when the road construction lasts longer than most relationships. And I know that a lot of that has to do with supply chain issues, and a lot of that has to do with COVID issues. So what are some things that you hope to do or to put in place to kind of move some of those projects moving forward?
I think we have all the way through town. We have a lot of bridge issues in here, and where we had. It takes a long time to build a bridge here, and we've got to figure out ways to move that forward about going in and getting everything prepared, and then going in and building the bridge and getting it done as soon as possible. And it's where we stop the delays that you have. We have a problem in Roswell with the travel on north-south direction. There are just a few north-south streets that go all the way through town. And when they allowed them to change and put that little curve into by the Institute Golf Course, that slowed up traffic quite a bit. But if you look, you go over from Main Street, you almost have to go all the way to Goddard to get a street that goes all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other way, you've got to go almost to Washington to get a street that goes all the way through.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. I had to get up there.
No, that's fine.
Something came out, and it's live radio, folks. I apologize. So that was all. That came out of nowhere. I'm sorry about that. But thanks to Sean for filling in real quick.
Yeah.
I apologize. I didn't mean to have to cut out like that. But sorry about that. But I caught some of that. I missed a little bit there in the middle here. So if I'm covering new ground here or repeated ground, I apologize. But looking at the way the spending and things, I know that's something that you've been talking about in your campaign is the spending and things. In your opinion, is it the needs there? Would you agree that those needs are there, just the way they did it was wrong, or I'm kind of like if you've seen like the things that they spent on, if you were mayor, how would you have handled those instead of how they did?
I think in looking at the whole thing, number one, I think we have to have, when you have enterprise funds and you collect money to do water, to produce water and put water meters in, or cells at the sanitation yard or sewer. I mean, those facilities, you can collect money, but you need to save. You need to collect. When you collect money, you need to set some money aside. So when we were filling up a cell at the landfill, you should have had money set aside to start another one before that one got filled up.
Gotcha. A little bit of pre-planning.
And so we didn't. So then we had an $8 million bond issue that you put on the property owners rather than the people who use it, which some are the same. I understand that, but you put it on them to go back and put another cell in.
Gotcha.
And then, they needed a new packer, so here was another $1 million that was moved over. Some of that, the rates should be high enough to where you can pay for your normal operating cost.
Gotcha.
In that. And part of that normal operating cost is making sure you have enough money to come back and do another one.
Gotcha.
Another cell. We're in a problem now because when you took like at the enterprise funds that all these are, we take them all out, and you take them all out and then move them over here and fix something else with them. Well,
sure.
Then where are you? I mean, where are we now? If we take that, we're probably going to need a new water treatment plant somewhere in the pretty near future, is my understanding. So if we do that, that could cost $30 or $40 million.
Gotcha.
And does that mean we're going to raise our rates again? And so that's what I'm saying, is that look and plan ahead.
Sure.
So you have those things developed.
Sure. And mitigate the big hits when they do come.
And Ascent Aviation, we're glad they're here. I mean, I think it's great. And I don't object to Ascent being here. The methods in which you do things should be brought to the public and had a public hearing about it, and let's talk about it.
Gotcha.
So anybody who has any issues out there needs to be brought up.
Gotcha.
And because now we had an individual there who was leasing it at it has been a long-term client there that feels that he got a short end of a stick on the negotiation because everybody's rates went up, and he has to pay for all the repairs in his building.
Gotcha.
And we have because of when the base closed and how long they've been there, those buildings need a lot of repair. And so he was a little upset at everything that happened last night. Everybody wants Ascent to be here,
right?
But we have to make sure that we treat other people at that facility in a fair manner as well.
You can't because it's the shiny new toy. You can't neglect the other people there just to make the shiny new toy happy.
I mean, there's some hangars out there that can't even open the doors, and on the private aviation side, almost all those doors won't shut, and you can't heat the buildings, and so if you have water in there, that's going to freeze, and so those are all needs that we have as well.
Gotcha.
And so you need to, whoever you have in your community needs to be treated as fairly as possible, and it needs to be as, the guy, your next door neighbor ought to get the same deal you got.
Sure.
You had.
I understand
and
that.
you can look and weigh at different things. That's true, but when you look and weigh at things, you do it with public discussion.
Gotcha.
So everybody knows what everybody's getting, and Ascent is, everybody's wants them. We want them real bad to be here, and they'll be a good company.
But like you said, you don't want to promise things that at the end of the day we can't promise everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, so if we're gonna if we do something for them, why we have to make sure that the guy over here whose hangar door, which is they haven't been able to open for 2 or 3 months, because it's broken, that he's still paying rent on a building, he can't even open the door.
Gotcha. Kind of looks like,
and that's really not fair.
Sure, and then we turn around and give a bunch of money over here and said, "Sorry, we don't have the money to fix your door, but we had a bunch of money to go lure this client over here." I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we just need to have, government needs to be open. People need to talk about it and see and do what we can do.
So let me ask you this: like you always hear the things, first day on the job kind of thing. For you. First month or so in office as mayor, what's going to be your priorities? What are the things you're like, we need to fix this, and this now? What would be one or two of those things that you want to change as soon as you humanly possibly could?
I think one of the first things I want to do is I want to meet with the employees.
Gotcha.
And I want to look at our staffing patterns that we have all over, and salary level staffing patterns, and see where we are.
Gotcha.
And there's been a number of people say we're so top heavy on higher administration. Let's look at that. And I know people who are driving. When you look at a trash truck,
right
now most people don't realize that trash truck costs almost $400,000.
Yeah, and that's probably for the cheap ones.
Yeah, and yet, if you're driving that same truck that costs that much,
yeah,
in Artesia, you're getting $25 or $30 an hour. Here are people been there 5 years and paying $16.
Gotcha.
And I think we need to look at all the issues out there.
Sure.
We need to look about getting the buildings back open and getting in use.
So you think it could be even like maybe just shifting from the management dollars to the operate? You know what I'm saying? Where we got too many chiefs and not enough workers here. We need to balance that so the chiefs match the number of workers, kind of thing.
And how many people have driven around Roswell and maybe over by Yucca Center and they had a couch out there on the ground for about probably 2 months? Well, that doesn't look very well. You look at the weeds and everything around Yucca Center.
Sure.
It doesn't make your community look very nice.
And I would also argue too that it's kind of hard for code enforcement to go out and tell you your weeds are bad when you look in our own backyard. Yeah, it looks the way it looks.
The city made a deal to do the entrance into the base a few years ago when they traded on some work with out at the base. They traded and they had agreed to do some work, is what I was told. And you look how ratty it kind of looks when you drive into the air center.
Yeah.
And those, we need to. I want to get people to have pride in their community.
Sure.
To be happy, to be glad you're here, and we got to look at that. And we had 100. We thought we'd have 50 people when they had a early buyout or early retirement in the city of Roswell during COVID. They thought they'd have 50 people retire early. They had 150, and so that's created some problems.
Sure.
Maybe we don't have enough people to drive the lift truck. One of those grapple trucks.
Sure.
And these are all things that we have to look at. But people have to know too that you shouldn't be able to just stick a mattress out and drop it at the first place you want, or drop it behind somebody else's house or a couch.
We all need to do our part.
Everybody has to do that, and we need to get together and work together on what we can do to get the most mileage out of all our facilities.
Absolutely. We're about out of time here, but so I want to kind of give you the floor here for whatever you want to make sure you get out there to folks that we didn't get a chance to cover here. I want to, anything we didn't talk about or anything you want to hit home on, I want to kind of give you that opportunity to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Mike, I've been in all forms of government here. I've been a county commissioner, and I am the flood commissioner now and stuff, and looking about things and ways to bring this together. And I think I can do it. I've worked in my experience in the legislature. I've worked with Republicans and Democrats. I've been on the minority side in the legislature. I've been on the majority side. I know what it's like. We all have needs, and I can bring the people together, and I can bring our community together to sit down and figure out what we need to do and how to try to get all walks of life together where we can enjoy our community together.
Absolutely.
And we didn't, when the city needed help on redoing the lake at the zoo, the flood commission stepped up and fixed it. We didn't send the city a bill for it. We did it because it was something that we can do for our community involving water, which is what our job is. And we can all sit down and figure out how to work together. We can get our schools working together. We need to work on economic development. We need to work on getting more jobs out at the college and having some kids get into vocational programs at our college.
Sure.
Now you can take accelerated programs in the college session, if we're going to college. Well, maybe we can get some of those accelerated programs to go into the heating and air conditioning or whatever fields that we have.
Skilled trades.
Welding, any skilled trade out there. And working together, I think we can do that. And we also, one of the last things we have to figure out, we have to fix health care in Roswell. We cannot keep existing where we fly everybody out of here every morning at 4:30, to go somewhere else to get health care.
Yeah.
We've got to address the issue. We have to get together with Eastern Medical Center and Loveless. We're going to have to get together with our doctors to get doctors here, attract them here, and have them stay here.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to do.
I live right near the Eastern there. I hear that helicopter all the time.
It's like they start at 4 or 4:30 in the morning.
It'll rattle my windows, yeah.
One right after the other.
Very good. If folks want to reach out to you, get on the campaign, what's the best way to do that?
Just call me, call my office, and 623-8331.
Awesome.
Or you can call me on my cell phone.
Perfect. Well, Tim, thank you very much. I apologize for my abrupt meeting.
It's all right.
Life happens. But
I hope you didn't miss.
We're good. We're good to go. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'd love to talk to you here in the future. I know
you.
anytime. All right. It's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Where the BBC's Nick Beek says a Russian bomb set a large apartment building ablaze.
Elsewhere, the night sky was illuminated by other blasts. Sirens were still sounding as the overnight curfew lifted at 7 o'clock local time. Kyiv hasn't been a city waking up because few have slept, and the explosions keep coming.
Ukrainian officials report civilians among the 137 people killed, 316 wounded so far. The second day of Putin's war amid fears that Ukraine's capital could fall to the invaders as soon as this weekend. Multiple media outlets report that President Biden will nominate D.C. Court of Appeals Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. The first black woman on the High Court, she would take the place of retiring Justice Stephen Breyer on the Supreme Court's liberal wing, conservatives holding a 6-3 majority on the court. Day 2 of a high-profile gathering of conservatives, CPAC 2022, the annual Conservative Political Action Conference, underway in Orlando. There's no lack of speculation over what former President Trump might have to say when he addresses the gathering this weekend. Closely watched inflation gauge, the Fed pays a lot of attention to it, jumped 6.1% in January compared with 1 year earlier. The figure reported this morning by the Commerce Department, the largest year-over-year rise since 1982. At the same time, consumers largely shrugged off last month's higher prices, boosting their spending 2.1% December to January. Stocks higher on Wall Street this hour. The Dow's up 425 points. The Nasdaq ahead 59. The S&P trading 46 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
A retired U.S. Army sergeant fined $400, handed a suspended 36-month jail sentence, trying to carry a gun and ammo onto a plane in Zimbabwe.
The former soldier had been held in the renowned Chikurubi prison for more than a week. Prosecutors said he was checking into a flight to the tourist town of Victoria Falls when airport security officials found a 9mm pistol and 3 magazines, each with 15 rounds of ammunition, in his suitcase. They had asked for a 10-year prison term, but the judge criticized prosecutors for overemphasizing the man's military history to portray him as a potential terrorist. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
In Singapore, an Australian man pleading guilty to hurling a wine bottle from his apartment at a group of Muslims having a dinner party and struck and killed a 73-year-old man. Andrew Gosling being tried on a charge of committing a rash act that resulted in the death of the man who was a delivery driver in August 2019. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Both here and in Putin's backyard, Russia's invasion of Ukraine triggering loud protests.
Thousands of Russians took to the streets of more than 50 major cities, including Moscow, demanding an end to the war started by their president, Vladimir Putin. Protesters chanting no to war. In Budapest, Hungary, the crowd calls Putin a terrorist. Putin, terrorist! Putin, terrorist! Outside the White House Thursday evening.
Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
The United Nations Security Council votes Friday on a resolution condemning Russia's actions. It will be vetoed by Russia. I'm Tim McGuire.
The Biden administration reportedly set to significantly loosen federal COVID mask-wearing guidelines. Action expected to be announced later today, according to a couple of administration insiders speaking with the AP. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy McDonald's Friday. Thank you, Sean. I apologize.
No problem at all.
I'm so sorry about that was weird.
Did Tim happen to say that the power of Christ compelled you? I'm just curious.
Think I had an exorcism?
Maybe.
I was sitting there, and when I was talking with Jason and John,
right.
I was getting real hot. I was like, is it getting hot in here? I was like, someone turn on my heat. Why is it getting really hot? And then I was starting to break out in the sweat. I'm like, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm about to throw up. Yeah, right. Something's coming up.
Something's happening, man.
And then when I once I got Tim into a question, I was like, I gotta go. And I said, so I got Tim to go into a question. I was like, I gotta go. And then that's when I called you and said, hey. And I said, can you? And I think I was grabbing a trash can.
I would have asked what context the question was you would ask beforehand, but you were already in mid-hurl. So I wasn't about to think you were going to answer that question. So I come in here and I'm like, what were we talking about?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. We managed to make it work.
Because I thought I was like,
I just wasn't ready, man.
I know. I'm so sorry. It was.
It's all good.
I'm not proud of that moment, but it's live radio, man, and that's what happens sometimes. But yeah,
it was one of those things that's like you were doing like the drum solo or whatever, and then you just tossed the stick up in the air, and I slid in and grabbed it.
Then he tossed it up. I came back, got in there. Yeah, it was.
Sure, it was real confusing for the video audience.
I'm sure they were like, "What's going on?" But my apologies. Yeah, it's just something.
Hey, it happens, man.
I don't know. And I'll tell you this: had nothing to do with McDonald's. I haven't had any McDonald's today. That was. I think it's. I'm older now, so they put me on medicines and things. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But
could be just a reaction.
It came out of nowhere. I just started sweating, and I'm sitting there like.
Yeah. Just for clarification purposes, Mike has not consumed any McDonald's this morning.
Yeah, and I don't have COVID. Relax. No. But yeah,
it's not one of the symptoms.
No, I guess it isn't, huh?
Yeah. I don't think so. Intermittent spurts of nausea? No, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing.
Ooh, that was fun.
Then again, I heard somebody say that COVID finds your biggest weakness and like really drives the knife into it.
Oh, maybe that's mine.
So if maybe yours is like like nausea or like intestinal distress or something.
That's right. I ain't gonna lie. I put a beet through my diet. You see what I eat. Trying weird things and new things can take its toll after a while.
That's true. What's the old saying? Garbage in, garbage out.
It's not for the faint of heart. By the way, which made, speaking of that, I noticed, what day was it? It was one of the days, I think it was like Tuesday.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Tuesday. Monday, maybe? Mm-hmm. Monday, because Monday was President's Day. My wife was home. Monday, I went home for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through the TV guide there, and the History Channel was showing a marathon of that first season of Eating History.
Really?
All those episodes.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that they were showing that like on the middle of a Monday, like the whole season, I don't know. Is that a precursor? Maybe a season 2's
Possibly. Well, that's what I was. That's my next question. Was did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
So that would have been my next question.
Did they have commercials for it?
Commercials for season 2 in the middle of yeah, because that would be your giveaway, obviously. But my other thought is, were they just running a marathon of it because it's President's Day and
could have been, but
eat through history on President's Day or something like those.
I really hope they're getting ready to set up for a new season.
Me too, man. So let's hit the old Googler and find out.
If you're thinking, what are you talking about? About a year or so ago. Actually, was it pre-COVID? I think it was pre-COVID.
It was pre-COVID. What was anything pre-COVID?
Is it PC or AC?
Right.
I think it was PC. Yeah, basically
I swear I almost typed in eating COVID.
The premise of the show is these two guys. They did this as a YouTube channel show, and now it spawned into this other show.
Is actually during. It was like right in the middle or right at the beginning of it because it's the last episode was released May 6th of 2020.
Okay. So yeah, it was right during the first year there, first 6 months of it.
Yep.
And but basically, the whole premise of the show is they find old food and eat it, and it could be old MREs, could be a Wheaties box from the 70s, could be Oreos from the 80s. It's a pretty interesting show.
It really is.
Yeah, it is.
You find some crazy things. Now, I will tell you, if you're looking to get the itch scratched or whatever, Rhett and Link over on Good Mythical Morning on YouTube, they do a series where basically I'll have to find the links, but they do that. They just try old snacks.
Okay.
And there's several different iterations of the videos that they do, but I think the oldest thing they tried was butter powder from 1958 or something like that.
Just the term butter powder scares me.
It was powdered butter.
I know.
So powdered milk,
right?
But powdered butter, and they tried it on toast, and I think the verdict was, it is not great.
Even fresh, I don't think that would be good.
Season 2 is not canceled or renewed by History yet. It's still in
limbo.
In limbo.
All right.
So no new news yet.
Bummer.
I know.
Well, hopefully they do. That's a good show. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to talk local stuff now. We're gonna take a break from politics this hour. I guess I ruined that with all. Never mind.
Sorry, we're puking all over politics.
That's right. No, we're going to take a break from politics this hour. We're going to have the folks from the Roswell Public Library join us here. Tracy Fry and Peggy Bolin will be joining us here and give us an update on what's happening out at the Roswell Public Library. Hey, I want to remind you, tonight is opening night for Four Old Broads. That's right, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is weekend one here, Four Old Broads, happening at the Roswell Community Little Theater, 7:30 p.m. tonight, tomorrow night, 2:30 Sunday afternoon, and they're going to do it all over again next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't forget, tonight is Bring You Elvis. Opening night here. Dress up as your favorite Elvis, whether it's young Elvis, 60s Elvis, or 70s bloated Elvis, whatever Elvis you go with, please. Coming out to Four Old Broads tonight. You can get tickets online in advance at Roswell Theater, theatre.org, or you can get tickets at the door. That's either way, you're good to go. Matter of fact, I plan on going tomorrow night. My wife and I are going to go tomorrow night. That's our plan. I'm going to reach out and see if anybody else is going to, but that's our plan. All right, it is 13 minutes after 9 o'clock. Big thank you to McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. I haven't eaten any yet today, but I've been drinking my tea. Love that. But swing on by, including check out the new South Main McDonald's as well. It opened up last week, and it's taking care of business for everybody. Dine in, drive through, carry out. Don't forget you can download the McDonald's app and find huge savings there as well. All right, it is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure headed off to the east, and we've got high pressure setting up over southern New Mexico, so we've got a fair weekend coming up. Low to mid-50s, breezy and a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Overnight will be partly cloudy and cold, dipping into the low 20s, and then it looks like mid-50s and sunshine for Saturday, back up to about 60 and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 48% with winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. They say mostly cloudy for today, and true to form, that's still what it is. But temps right around what yesterday, 50. We're supposed to hang around 50 today. South winds 10 to 15 this morning, picking up 15 to 20 for this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight. Expect an overnight low of 22 with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. For the weekend, a little bit warmer tomorrow. Sunny skies, 56 for a high. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies Saturday night with an overnight low of 23 degrees. North winds at around 5 miles per hour. And then Sunday, expect highs right around 60 with winds out of the south 5 to 10. And then looks like a warm-up for next week. 68 on Monday under sunny skies, partly cloudy skies, and then sunny 71 Tuesday, sunny 76 on Wednesday, sunny and 77 on Thursday of next week. So warmer looks like in store for us next week for the most part. All right, it is 9:15. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break here, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Juliana Halverson is committed to Roswell. She wants to improve our public facilities while keeping our taxes down, attract more business to Roswell, and she wants our city to be safe. People say a lot of things to get elected. With over 35 years of community service, Juliana Halverson has the experience to get it done. Let's elect someone that has a proven commitment to our community. On March 1st, vote Juliana Halverson, City Council, Ward 2.
I'm Juliana Halverson, and I approve this message.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Healthcare Center and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
I believe in the future of agriculture with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. That's the first line of the FFA Creed, a motto that binds more than 650,000 FFA members. It's a statement that they all believe in while focusing on academic and personal growth. National FFA Week gives members an opportunity to help others in their school and community learn about FFA and agricultural education. Join, volunteer, and support the FFA mission by visiting ffa.org. Happy National FFA Week from La Tienda Thriftway.
Does it ever feel like your doctor isn't listening? Like all they have to offer are pills? You deserve a healthcare provider that listens to you, one that listens to your concerns and works hard to find solutions. Roswell Medical Clinic focuses on functional medicine, working with you to find the root cause of the problem and a solution that works for you, so you can feel better and live happier. Because you deserve it. Trust the providers that listen. Roswell Medical Clinic, 111 West Hobbs in Roswell, or call 623-3311.
Hi, Roswell. I'm Guy Malone, candidate for mayor. Welcome to my non-mudslinging political campaign ad. I want you to visit roswellguy.com to find out about all the good reasons you have to actually vote for someone, not vote against someone. Refreshing idea, hey? Well, I've got lots more where that came from. You know and I know that Roswell is destined for same stuff, different year if we don't vote for positive changes that bring Roswell's politics and economy into the 21st century. Malone for mayor, roswellguy.com. Paid for by Guy Malone for Roswell.
Ed Hildenbrand, candidate for city council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and chief financial officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildenbrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Hildenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Hildenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Fry and Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How y'all doing today?
Pretty good. I'm doing good.
It's Friday.
Yes, it is.
Not that means, because you probably work weekends.
I work Saturday.
Your Friday's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But that's good news for everyone out there. That means because there's lots going on at the library. The library's, I don't care who you are, where you're, how old you are. I don't care if you're a child or 337-year-old adult. I don't care.
I'd like to meet that person.
Yeah, me too. What's your regime there? I gotta know what's going on. But the library's got something for you, and that's the great part about it. And it's all free. It's all free. Yes. You get a library card in good standing, and the entire history of the world is at your oyster right there. Mm-hmm. It really is, and that's something. And you could do with it what you want. And I know I'm starting off already on the soapbox, but because I know, especially young folks, we get it ingrained as reading is something we have to do. You're learning, and that's important. We got to teach kids to read and all that. Mm-hmm. But we got to focus on, look, when you're done reading the book because school made you do it, go find something that piques your interest. And if it's in the library, it's like whatever, carte blanche.
Right.
Go in there and say, find this book of the thousands. I don't know what's the number, but I'll say thousands. That's probably a pretty safe number. Thousands of books that are sitting inside of that building. Yeah. You can pick the one you want the most out of there, and let's go check it out and read it for a couple of weeks here. Yeah. And that's how you instill reading and getting them, because you're literally giving them the opportunity. If they want to read something, it's like, you want to read about stars, science fiction stuff, great. You want to read about a Dr. Seuss fantasy, whatever, great. Here it is. You want to learn about maybe pick up a biography. You want to learn about somebody you saw on TV or a story you learned about in school. Here's where you'll find that kind of thing. And that's the library,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, granted, you guys have a little more technology now, and you can do a lot of stuff online. And, It's not like when we were kids, you walk in with your card. And
yeah.
We were just joking about this. But, all right, there's the card catalog book. There's the Dewey Decimal System. Go find your book. By author, by title, whatever. Right. But that's all still there. But now you can go and and really even the online resources for folks. And again, you have access as a member in good standing with that card.
Right.
If you need tutorial help from college on down,
right?
There's programs available through the library free of charge that you can use.
Right.
If you want to stay up to date on periodicals, magazines, and things like that, but you don't have the Columbia House guy coming by or Publishers Clearinghouse guy get you to buy all those magazines anymore, then you go to, they've got through online. You can go and access all of those, your Newsweeks or Times or Modern Bride or whatever the magazines that are out there now. They're all there, and same thing with music and movies. If you want to, I know there's your Netflix and all that, but there's some of that kind of content available free of charge for you through the library as well too. If you got like road trips planned or something and you want to maybe get an audio book or get maybe some music to bring with the trip or that's available too.
And don't forget about the passes to the museums.
That's another great point. Well, now that we're starting, warmer weather will be coming soon. Spring break's right around the corner. People are going to be thinking about doing some traveling. The library for several years now has offered a great I'm guessing through New Mexico the tourism department there. They offer this pass that I believe is good for up to 6 people.
Right.
If I remember right, a family of 6.
Right.
And there is, 15, 20 different venues across the state that will get you either in free or very discounted stuff here. And just some off the top of my head, Lincoln.
Yes.
Lincoln, that's one of them. The Museum of the Horse is one of the
New Mexico Space,
the museum and several art museums. I'm trying to think of the one. Is it the Nuclear Museum they're in Albuquerque, or am I getting it wrong? Or
I'm not too sure.
No, the Natural History Museum is.
Yeah,
that's on there.
But I think the one that they're doing with science and stuff too, and I can't remember.
Discovery?
Maybe. I think that's on the list too.
I don't think so.
Is it? Okay. There's one of those is on there, like the nuclear energy
Next
one.
time I come, I'll bring it and we'll
we'll debate it there. But I'm pretty sure one of them was something to do with nuclear energy or something sciencey, like Los Alamos. There you can go and check out.
Right.
But I'm just pulling off the top of my head. But
anyway,
it's a great thing, and you check it out, and you get it for a week, 7 days. And it's not a renewable.
No.
You can't reach it. It's first come, first serve. You like say you're leaving tomorrow for go to a trip. You come in today, say, hey, we're going out of town. It's available. You got it. 7 days later, you got to bring it back.
Yes.
But that's all there is to it. And you can go and use it as many times as you can out on the trail out there.
Yes.
And trust me, it's big savings. Even if you like Lincoln, I think what do they charge? $8-10 a person. 6 people, that's dang near $50 right there.
Exactly.
For you to get your family and that you saved right there doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Natural History Museum in Albuquerque is $8 a person.
So times 6.
Yeah.
That's
good savings.
Almost $50 there of savings right there. So take advantage of it. I don't know about you, but I could save $50 and basically give an afternoon or hours of education, entertainment for your family, and you save. It's great.
Yes.
Now you can put that $50 towards lunch or buying T-shirts and trinkets and things for your family.
There you go.
Educational toys.
There you go.
But yeah, those are things that are constantly going on at the library. That's all the time, and we haven't even got into the specific events here coming up in March and stuff, which these ladies will tell us all about here in a minute. And that's just stuff that's going on all the time.
Yes.
Good deal. So let's kind of peel back the curtain for some of our activities for again everybody from the little ones to your teenagers to adults. There's something for everybody.
Yes.
Opportunities from crafting to science and STEM to reading. There's that too. So where do we want to start on the calendar here?
Well, we're going to start next Saturday, March 5th. Is going to be our big Dr. Seuss celebration.
His birthday. Yes, when's the actual birth date? I know it's March.
The 2nd.
The 2nd is the official day. Okay.
But we're going to have our celebration on Saturday because we want more people to come in.
Sure.
And it's going to be from 11 to 1. And we're going to have games, a face painter.
Okay.
Cupcake decorating, crafts. And it's just going to be fun. And it's a come-and-go event. So you can come at 11 and you can start playing the games.
Okay.
And
but if you can't make it till 11:30 or so, no biggie.
Right. You can come at 12. But you can come, and if your kids get a little overwhelmed or you get overwhelmed, then you can leave. It's not like you have to stay.
Sure. You get too much, because, it's Dr. Seuss. So you know there's going to be a lot of orange, green, and I'm sure like cupcake making. If your tongue's not some weird color by the time you leave in here, you didn't do it right.
Exactly. Yes.
But I love the Dr. Seuss celebration because it's multi-generational.
Yes.
I don't care what parent there's not a parent in this country that probably didn't grow up with Dr. Seuss in there as their childhood.
Yes.
And I'm sure the grandparents before them grew up with Dr. Seuss, and so it's multi-generational, and so it's something that everyone connects with. So mom and dad can share their green eggs and ham, or the oobleck, or all the famous story, one fish, two fish, all the famous Dr. Seuss stories out there.
Right.
And do that. So please come on out. Maybe I'm sure if you want to dress up in your own little cat in the hat hats and be
You're
a part
more
of
than
that.
welcome.
Yeah, come and have some fun with all this, and be prepared to have a good time. And like I said, it's a come and go event. So if you can't make it right at 11, no biggie. It's just if you got and this is all next Saturday.
Next Saturday, March 5th, and like you said, if they have to come in at 12 because they have something else going on in the morning, just come on in because you can start playing.
Sure. What time?
Games.
What time are you guys wrapping up on Saturday?
We're gonna start wrapping up at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. So get there before 1.
Yes.
So just safely ballpark. If someone wanted to try to do everything, could they do it in a half hour, or would it take a little? Would that be a little?
Well,
tight?
it's about. I have 6 games and 1 craft, and then a face painter, and then a cupcake decorating. So I would say probably like
an hour.
Yeah, like 45 minutes to an hour.
So if you come in like with 30 minutes left, you're gonna have to pick and choose the ones you got to. You're like the ones you're like, no,
And-
I'm getting a cupcake.
And then also with the games, when they play, whether they win or lose the game, and it's like little, like carnival type games.
Yeah, the prizes and things. Yeah,
They will get prizes.
Cool.
So whether they win or lose, they'll get a prize.
Awesome. So please come out and be a part of it. And if your children have never been exposed to Dr. Seuss before, then make this their first opportunity.
Yes, that's right.
Because I would imagine, just by looking at the atmosphere, the colors, it's a very zany, cartoony world. And when you get immersed into that, that's going to pique a kid's interest. So
we're making truffle trees, so it'll be.
And then you got the Who's. I mean, there's just so much you can go in different directions with that. It's almost like the Cat in the Hat's the 1 seed, I think, for Dr. Seuss. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many stories out there. You could get into the world of Dr. Seuss and not mention one word of Cat in the Hat. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the truth.
Right.
There's so much you could go there. I mean, Grinch side alone. I mean, just the Who's and all that stuff. But anyway, please mark that on your calendars. Please come out. Again, parents, if you're looking for fun opportunities that are educational as well and family-friendly, safe, free environments.
Yes.
This is all the kind of stuff when we talk, especially in the world we live in with COVID and cyber meetings and virtual learnings and all that stuff we're going on. These are the kind of things we need to do extra to get our kids into social interaction and to exposing them to opportunities that slip through the cracks during formal education times and things due to the world we live in.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff we as parents and as society have to do to make up for that kind of stuff.
Right.
We can't get that time back for these kids, but we can give them opportunity, and this is what we're doing here.
Right.
And our children's area is a large room, so it's not it'll be like every other hour will have a game, so it's not like if you
can
feel
spread out a little bit.
Exactly. If you feel uncomfortable about crowds, then it spreads out.
And hopefully it'll be a nice weather Saturday, next Saturday.
Yes.
And if you want to sit out under the tree of knowledge or something, and kind of read a book or something while you're waiting for activities, that'd be a good thing to do too. So good deal. So again, that's next Saturday, March 5th, beginning at 11, goes to about 1 or so.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
What's next on the list here?
Okay. On the 12th. So I'm just gonna start focusing on our big events because we have our normal everyday
Your
things.
weekly ones, like if you wanted to team up with Family Night Lego or the coloring book nights, those are all standard staples.
Right.
Get you a calendar, put it on your fridge, and you can stay up to date on those.
Yes. But March 12th, which is the following Saturday, 4-H Club is starting to meet at our library.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're going to have a little, I believe it's, I wish I would have brought the flyer, but it's like weaving type with paper.
So they're doing the week, because 4-H is pretty broad. They got everything from computers to farm animals and everything in between.
And they
this is a weaving, like a
this month it will be a weaving. They're going to start meeting once a month, and then they're going to increase as membership grows.
So do they do like home ec stuff? Like that's that club. Right. Cool. So if you want to do some of that, the library.
Yes. So March 12th, they'll be there at 10 a.m. You don't have to sign up. You just come. It's free.
And of course, you probably talk to them if you're interested about being a member of 4-H.
Yes, someone will be there.
Yeah, and I know we talk to them every month. They come on, and 4-H is big. It's one of those things that I know a lot of you associate the fair with them and everything,
definitely, yes.
which is very much a big part of 4-H. Don't get me wrong, but that's scratching the surface. They go into like parliamentary procedure and things like that too. But they do shooting sports. They do computers, leatherwork. I mean, there's so many different things that are part of 4-H that have nothing to do with touching a cow or throwing hay around or anything like that.
Yes.
So, so that's cool that they're going to start. And what was the date of that again?
That's on March 12th, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m.
And they're going to meet monthly, or
they're starting off monthly. Excuse me, and then I think by summer they're going to start doing it twice a month.
Gotcha.
It depends on how many kids are interested and sign up, and then they're going to. Then we'll go from there.
The more the merrier, and the more that come, the more programs and more things that you can get involved with and partake in.
Yeah.
So very cool.
And then since they will have their meeting at 10 a.m. on March 12th, we'll do the Lego at 11. So, So you can go. So you can spend like a whole morning in the library if you chose to. On the 12th.
Having fun and not spending one dime, by the way.
Exactly.
and Lego's a lot of fun. If you're not familiar with that, it's family Lego.
Yeah.
It's literally like going to your house, taking a big box of Legos, throw it on the floor, spread them out, and then you all say, go to town. Just create wherever the mind takes you here. And I know sometimes you guys will have like a theme project and say, all right, you got 10-minute showdown, make this thing. But really, you can participate in that or not.
Right.
But
it's more like free build.
Yeah.
And we even have the really big Legos for the little guys. So if you have like a young sibling,
where the little ones are inappropriate, they got the ones that are
really big, and we even have the soft
really hard
ones.
to swallow.
Yeah, they'll be really hard to put in their mouth.
Yeah, I understand.
And we even have the soft Legos. For the babies. So,
Gotcha.
So the whole family can come and just hang out.
There's a lot of parents that wish they knew about those at 2 a.m. when they step on a Lego.
You don't have to have those in your home.
Yeah, exactly. But so please, that's a lot of fun there. So that'll be right after the 4-H event.
Right.
That morning there.
So they can come in and check out the 4-H event if they like, and they'll hear about future projects through them. And then if they like, they can stay.
And play some Legos.
Yes.
No, Legos are first.
No, 11 a.m. is Legos, and then 4-H is 10 a.m.
Oh, gotcha. I was seeing the 12.
Okay. No, that's the 12.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay.
Excellent. Good deal. So, come on out and be a part of that. What's next we want to make sure we get out there?
Well, we're going to talk about Jim Gill, not Jim McGill, who lives here in Roswell. Okay?
Not the Roswell C. Jim Gill. He's a very nice man, but he's not the one that's part of this.
Right.
Jim Gill.
When they mention Jim Gill, I'm going, I don't see that. But okay.
He's a funny dude.
He's a great person.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
but
he
he's
really
more
is.
than welcome to come out if he likes.
Sure. Maybe bring some corn.
Yeah, because I'm sure this Jim Gill will probably make up a song about corn.
There you
go. So we're having this children's concert, and it's during the spring break week, because spring break is that week of the 13th, March 13th.
Yes, okay.
We're going to have STEM camp, which Peggy will tell you about, but on that Friday the 18th, we're going to have Jim Gill. He does a children's concert, which is really fun, and he does all these little silly songs, and he has the kids dance and
gets the kids up and moving and interacting.
Right.
And I already could tell he's going to create 20 earworms, and the kids are going to be singing those at the house, and it's going to get in your head, and then you're going to be cooking dinner, and some earworms are going to be do. Like,
I already sing some of his songs because I've been listening to them.
No.
So you got the earworms already stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But that'll be a lot of fun, and kids, and that's great. Get the kids going and getting the music and getting them up and going and creative. And I imagine, some kids love to even get involved and start writing their own songs and things.
Oh, I'm
when they
sure.
hear that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So please come out and be a part of that.
Yes, and that's going to be at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on the 18th.
On the 18th of March. Very good.
But early in the week, Peggy will tell you about her STEM camp.
And that's week of spring break.
Yeah,
correct.
13th there.
It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from
10 a.m.
10 to 11:30.
Okay. And now for folks who don't know, you've done a lot of stuff with STEM. You got the Make and Take project still there available at the library for folks.
The STEM kits.
The STEM kits, yeah.
The STEM kits, yeah.
I call Make and Take, but
yes, there's tons, and we really wish that more people would take advantage of it because there's so many to choose from.
I know it was very popular like when the homeschooling and a lot of that was here, and now the kids are back to school, that kind of took a back seat.
Which kind of makes sense because they have schoolwork.
But I would argue that no, you still need to incorporate that because the kids are playing catch up. And let's face it, it's the more time you can sit down with your kids. I don't care if they're 3, 4, or 16 or 18. You know what I mean? Just sit down and have that family time where you don't. That's so important. And even if the STEM lesson that you're teaching is not the big thing, the time spent going over it and doing it is very important too.
And just reading to your children or reading with your children is so important.
Absolutely. So please look at this as come out and be a part of the spring break thing, but also do some stuff on your own here. Check out these kits, take them home, do them with your family. Maybe check them out for yourself and practice and sing and get it for your couple, and then present it to your child when you kind of feel like you got it down here. But it really is. It's got the instructions, the step by step on the lesson, so you don't have to be a professor or a teacher or anything to do these lessons with your kids. It's all there for you. So take advantage of that.
Right.
Again, free of charge.
Exactly.
With your library card.
Right.
But let's talk about STEM Week here and some of the stuff you got planned.
All right, so it's basically going to be all about rockets.
Okay.
And so they're going to be making a rocket car. They're going to be doing Alka-Seltzer rockets, water bottle rockets.
Nice. Things that go.
Yes. I mean, there's straw rockets. There's so many different rockets that we're going to be concentrating on, and not just making them, but learning about rockets.
Sure, and how they're propelled and everything else.
Right, the engines, And then the last day on Thursday, we're going to be also building model rockets.
Okay.
That have the engines, the real engines,
just like the ones we get. I don't know if you still have them, but like you get the C and D and those different sizes.
Yeah. And so we're going to be launching those on Thursday.
Okay.
Probably at the Wool Bowl.
Cool. Those are fun.
Yeah, you can't launch them anywhere in the library.
Yeah, because they go high.
Yeah, you can't. In the parking lot in the library, they would go on top of buildings
I'm
or
pretty sure
cars
you might summon like the RPD or something because it might end up
Maybe.
going into some place it should. So.
Which is why it's going to be in a big open spot.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. So, like I said, it'll probably be the Wool Bowl area, either across the street, or in the parking lot, depending on the amount of cars that are in the parking lot.
It's a big open space. So,
right. I can't imagine Thursday morning, though, that there's going to be a lot of cars in the Wool Bowl parking lot.
Unless there's some weird ball game or something happening that I'm not aware of. But yeah, you should be plenty of room to do it up. Right. And plus it's pavement there, which is probably a little bit safer fire-wise than doing it on the grass or dirt.
Dried grass, brown grass.
Yeah, we don't want one of those days where we got the fire weather watch and 10% humidity to go do this.
And of course, we won't be launching them on Thursday if it's windy.
Sure, weather permitting.
Weather permitting. There's no way, or raining.
Yeah, for safety.
It's kind of like doing a star party. You plan a star party, you guaranteed it will be raining.
And they will catch fire. I've had enough experience in mine. I think I've told this before, but we built a space shuttle. And this was we were 13, 14. I don't remember how old we were teenagers, and we built one of those rocket kits, and it was a space shuttle, and it had multiple engines. It was a big to do, but unfortunately, we decided to do extra parts. We stuck like army men and things inside of it.
That was good.
Astronauts.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that didn't work out. So that space shuttle went up, and it was not. That it was a few years after the Challenger, so it was a little bit. That thing went up and poof, and then the chute came out, but it was on fire. So there was this flaming. It was this flaming ball with his chute out, also on fire, dropping it down into the ground. But It was fun, but it did not have the outcome we anticipated there.
You don't have that on video, do you?
No, this was long
Too
ago,
bad.
long before everyone had cell phones and everything.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun and really educational. You can, I hope what happens is you get a couple kids that do this, and then they use this rocketry and turn that into their own hobbies, and next thing you know, they're at home but building their own rockets and getting into it. And who knows, if you ever seen the movie October Sky.
Oh, I love that movie.
Great movie.
It
and
is.
It's about, and at the end of the day, it's based on a true story of some kids from West Virginia that get into rocketry, and despite the odds and things, they do their thing. And of course, spoiler alert, they as adults, the kids end up working for NASA and being NASA engineers and go on to be successful.
Amazing.
But they're just some West Virginia country boys that got really into rocketry, and they were even, reaching out to guys like Robert Goddard and Von Braun and the big names of our rocketry in there. So it's pretty cool. But anyway,
Yeah, it's a good book, too.
Yeah, I've never read the book, but I did
it's a
see the
good
movie in the 90s or whenever it came out there, and really did enjoy it. But anyway, I got sidetracked again.
Not you.
But again, let's bring it back to the STEM camp here, making rockets and everything.
Right, and this is for elementary and middle.
Okay, now do they need to pre-register anything for this, or can they just
Well, I
show up
only
for-
have so many rockets.
That's why I figure material and cost or material and everything is limited
Right.
here.
I don't think they're registering, though.
Well, in the past when we had people registered, and they didn't call to tell us that they weren't coming in. We were telling other people they couldn't do it.
So
it's like first come, first serve.
So the
right
first, however many kits you have
now. How
available.
many? It's like 30. Am I correct?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's 29.
Okay,
29.
so say the first 29, you're in, and number 30 and 31.
Sorry.
we apologize, but
Yeah.
So using that logic, get there. What time's the first that first session? That first
10
day?
o'clock.
10 a.m. on.
It's an hour and a half every day.
On March 14th.
March 14th. Very good.
Right, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we launch on Thursday.
Yeah, so come bring the kids out there. What would you recommend age appropriate wise for this one?
The best age would be third grade on up.
Okay, so third
But
up.
if, kinder, first, and second are there, then I hope the parents stay.
Okay. Bring them,
Because,
but maybe hang out with them and help them navigate through some of the project stuff.
Because,
and,
it's going to be more difficult for the little ones.
If I remember rocket building, there is an attention to detail factor in some of this. It's not meant for young kids. It's meant for kids a little bit more motor skills and things are a little more developed, and things like that. So okay, very good. But third on up, you're pretty safe.
Yeah, I would say.
And to be honest, it's rocketry, so you probably got adults you could turn away and be like, I'm 27, but I want to build rockets and launch them and learn about this too. So maybe you got a first grade child and dad or mom is really into this. Well, you come with them, and then you can play camp with them.
That's what we've been kind of doing with some of her STEM classes, too. We would tell them, it's for a certain age, but if you stay with your child.
Right.
Then
that's fine.
Which is wonderful because that's more of that child-parent bonding time. And that's a great thing. And that's, so please, if you do have a child that maybe is a little under age appropriate for this, you do it with them and fill in the gaps for them and expose, because the interest is going to be there regardless if the lessons are a little above their pay grade. But the bug to be cool and think this is awesome is going to that translates.
Exactly.
Very good. So again, that's the week of spring break beginning March 14th.
Right.
And those next 3 days, 14th, 15th, 16th.
Right. If somebody cannot make it on the 13th, or they can still come on the 14th.
Gotcha.
It's not like they have to commit for all 4 days.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, they can pick.
But I wouldn't miss more than one or so, because then you're starting to really lose out on the program.
Right.
If you get too much.
Right.
But,
And it's only from 10 to 11:30, so it's not like it's going to be a big commitment for the parents' day.
Yeah, you're done before lunch, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, very good. Perfect. What's next on the list?
Okay. So we're going to have our movie night. Movie day, I should say.
Okay.
We always have a matinee once a month and this one is going to be on March 19th, and it's going to be Ugly Dolls we're going to be showing.
Okay.
And
which is never seen that one.
I'm sorry, I think I vaguely remember a commercial for Ugly Dolls. It's animated, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just. When did that come out?
I think it's like 2006.
Okay, so it's a little older one. I vaguely
older.
remember commercials or a movie trailer for that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And, of course, that will have free popcorn, so everyone's invited. It's at 2 p.m. on March 19th.
Okay.
And our last Saturday event will be on the March 26th, which will be the board games. And that's from 11 to 1. And we just put out board games and puzzles. And if you're coming to the library anyway to check out a book, you can stop in and play a board game.
Sure.
And that's what a lot of people do. They're coming anyway, and then they just stop in and hang out.
Play a round of Monopoly or whatever.
Right.
You know, Clue or whatever's out there.
Don't break the ice or whatever.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't recommend, like, if Risk is one of those games.
Yeah.
We don't have it. That's okay.
Nothing is quick about that game.
No.
Once you sit down, prepare for the next 3 to week of your life.
We'll have to send the game home with them.
But yeah, if you want to play some of the fun little games there.
Yeah,
do
pick
that.
up sticks, and there's something really, it's the small kids that really enjoy it too.
Sure. Good deal. So come out, play a few more games here, and hopefully what it does is maybe you kind of go to the library and it's like, oh man, I love this game, and then you go get it for your own family. And,
right, exactly.
And then maybe have your own family game nights with some of these games that you found out about at the library. So very cool. What's next on the radar here we want to put up
we
there?
can just, we're still accepting applications for the Raise the Super Reader. Remember I showed you that little cake?
Yes.
We have about a little over 20 people signed up so far.
Okay.
And we have some that have already completed sheets, and their pictures are on our Facebook page.
And how many hours of reading is it again?
Well, they just have to read, the first page is 50 books.
Okay.
The parent reads to them 50 books. Is for ages 0 to pre-kindergarten.
Okay.
So 5. And then they just read 50 books, and it can be the board books if it's the babies. So those are really quick.
Yeah.
And then
and if you read it to them 17 times,
you list it 17 times,
that
and you're
counts.
good.
Because we get that. I know kids. Read me this story again. Read me. I don't care. I've heard it 15 times. I want to hear it again.
Right.
And so you end up reading the same story 337 times.
That's like seeing the movie, your favorite movie, like Young Frankenstein. We loved it. We've seen it probably 50 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I love
Ours was Shrek. We had to watch that. I don't know how many times Shrek.
You know a movie I loved as a kid like that? Silverado. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
It's got like 80,000 stars. Danny Glover, Kevin Costner before he was kind of famous.
Yeah.
Kevin Kline. Anyway, that movie I like. And it was around the time when I was, 10, 12, and it would show up on like cable. We had it on cable, and it would show up on HBO like 57 times a day. And it seemed like every time I turned it on, there'd be somewhere there's a part of, and I'd sit down and watch it every single time. So even to this day, I will pop that. If it's I'm going through and it shows up on a channel somewhere, like ooh, Silverado, and there I'm watching it. So yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I got us off track again.
That's okay. And then we still have our story times. On Tuesdays at 10:30, we have our Mother Goose, which is for birth to 3. And then on Wednesdays at 10:30, we have our Music and Movement story time, which is for 3 to 5.
Okay.
On Tuesday at 5 p.m., we have our Spanish Mother Goose story time.
Cool.
And we also have people coming in there to immerse their kids in Spanish. So it's not
Good
just
deal.
for Spanish speakers.
But expose children to constant Spanish, in the hopes that some of that gets absorbed and picked up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, kids absorb language a whole lot easier than adults.
Yeah, we should be teaching kids foreign language in like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
That's really, and that's where we should not when they hit high school. We're kind of doing that by then.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesdays, except for STEM camp week, we will have our STEM classes at 4:30 every Wednesday.
Okay. Very good. So again, if you need come out for that, and if you need help with this kind of stuff, that's really if you're having issues in school with these kind of things, that's all part of this too. This is kind of extra help, understanding, and all that. And kind of at the beginning when I was talking about the tutoring stuff online, it's all part of the same thing. If your child's struggling in school with some of this stuff, and the school resources aren't helping in there for whatever, or just not clicking. The Roswell Public Library has a lot of different resources to help out that in person and online, and that's well, I want to put it on your radar, so use it as a resource. That's what it's fair,
Right.
Hopefully your kid's not having any problems and everything's going swimmingly. But at some point, there's going to be a time where your kid hits a brick wall and you needs help, and maybe all the resources at the school aren't helping or aren't unlocking the key to fixing this problem here.
Right.
Library here at the public library should have you covered.
Exactly.
So that's why we do this. And I want to encourage you to come and be a part of this, and that's why I'm so harping on it now, because of the world we live in, because of the backseat that these kids' education things have really taken in the last 3 years. Now more than ever, your child needs to be sitting in a library doing stuff, getting involved, interacting with these kids, participating in these group projects and group activities. We as adults need to be hanging out in there as well. We talk about like the quilters when they get together and all. These are all dying art forms.
Right.
If you love handcrafted products, parents aren't spending time sitting down with their kids teaching them this stuff anymore. If you want, this is how it keeps going, by exposing it to people that haven't been exposed to it before, and doing that, and hopefully they say, "Dang, I'd love to do this," and now they've got the bug, and that's what it's all about. Because I don't care how technology takes us and where everything. There's going to be certain aspects, certain things in life that no technology, nothing like that is. You got to need to have this information, and stuff like that is kind of at some point. Something's going to break. Something's not going to work. Something's going to happen, and there's not going to be someone you can call or some website you can go to or some app you can download to fix it. You're going to have to bust out the needle and thread, or bust out the stove, or bust out the wrench, or whatever it is, and take care of business here. And the library can help you there, and more than a YouTube video sometimes too. Because I know that's how people. Every time I got to fix, I'll just watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of videos. I ain't no carpenter.
That's right. Hands on and does it.
That's all I'm saying.
And if they don't have access to the internet at home, they can at least come into the library, because they can use ours to look at that video if they want to. Exactly. Or they can probably get a manual and borrow it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's that other thing too. We have, that's before internet. We had manuals and encyclopedias, and like something that was very popular for like car owners in the 70s, 80s, were those Chilton owners manuals.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a badge of honor to have the collection and the years and the models, and if you go to things like Books Again, sometimes you'll see them still there for sale and things like that. But that's what we did before we went on YouTube and figured out how to change your oil or whatever.
We read a book.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. We're running short on time, so I want to make sure we
got pretty much everything that we needed to.
So.
Good deal. So if you have any questions about any of this stuff, don't hesitate to call the library. You can go online. You can go through the city's website, roswell-nm.gov. There's a library tab there. That's the quickest way to it. Or you can just Google Roswell Public Library and it pops right up. Roswell NM.
Yes, make sure it's Roswell, New Mexico.
Unless you want to learn what's happening at the Georgia Library, which knock yourself out.
That's right. Take a road trip.
But going to pick up books from that one's going to be a little bit long of a commute for you.
Exactly.
And good luck getting them turned back in on time. And then, and of course, you can always follow the Roswell Public Library on Instagram and on Facebook. Two great resources, especially if you want to learn about these weekly activities and stuff we're talking about. Like the Lego fun, and a lot of times you guys will post pictures of some of the people's creations up there.
And we also post our flyers when an event is coming up. You'll see it on the Facebook.
Keep them up to date on all that stuff, too.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you, ladies.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Have an awesome weekend.
You too.
And we'll see you guys next time, okay?
Yep.
All right, it is 9:57. Got to pay a few more bills, a couple more political ads for you before we wrap up the show. Don't go away.
Ed Hildenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildenbrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Hildenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Hildenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, not a faceless national company, but one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Xena Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer, and they specialize in service after the sale. They can handle all of your business and residential alarm and cameras, as well as home theater installation, all with contracts on your terms and all from a local company. The real Xena Security